The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Tottenham Away, the best place to be in town post-match day. And boy, as I predicted, a thrashing at the Etihad. I said we were going to smash them 3-0. It was never. I don't think anyone put a bet on Spurs winning 2-0, let alone 4-0. So, mate, unbelievable. So much to talk about. I don't even know where we're going to begin with this one, because this was a shock for, I think, every fan today. No one saw that by a country mile. But guys, thanks for being here. Smash like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. Great to see all the fans that don't turn up when we lose turn up today to show us what loyal fans they are. They only turn up when we win, and when we lose, they don't want to talk about Ange. They don't want to talk about Levy. Interesting that. We'll get into that bit as well. But anyway, boys, thanks for being here. We've got Dan Hotspur Hood, David Hotspur Hood, Scott M, Ian, the Happy Clapper, Spurs Analyst, I had to do it. Spurs Analyst and Sava, Football Heritage TV. Big up to everyone. Smash a like for the channel, smash a like for their channels. Guys, before we get into the team lineups, the game, Pep, Ange, the fans, and all of the bits regarding this game, Dan, every time we win, everyone just wants to praise. And every time we lose, everyone wants to curse. Are we the most inconsistent team you've ever seen in the Premier League out of, let's say, the top kind of 10 teams?
At this moment in time, it's got to be. I mean, we was going through the stage where we could beat all the crap teams but couldn't beat a good team for nearly a year. Now we've beat about 3 good teams but then keep getting cooked by the teams that haven't beat no one. It has got to be some of the most inconsistent. It has got to be one of the most inconsistent teams up there. I mean, I know we'll go into it and everything again, but it's just another proof. For me, this is just another proof again of I told you so to a lot of people. 13 months, been saying it now, Ange ball don't work. This team was made for Conte style. That was Conte style. There you go. I thought fast attacking, counter-attacking football was boring.
Scott M, are you now Ange in? And if we lose, will you be Ange out? And when we win, will you be Ange in again?
No, you might be surprised to hear. I am still 100% Ange out. The one thing that is much criticism as I get from everyone and hate and everything like that, like many others here, the one thing that doesn't usually get said is that I flip-flop. I'm not going to change game by game. I didn't want Ange from before he was hired. I didn't want him when he was hired, and I don't want him after he wins one game to take us all the way up to 6th place based on goal differential either. But I will say one thing I'm definitely happy for today. The other day when Sava and Matt were having that debate, I think Matt counted out 5 games out of 50 that Ange had that were good. Well, now we can say 6 games out of 50 that Ange had that is good. So keep moving up. Soon, eventually, it might get to a ratio that's actually somewhat impressive, but he's still Ange out. Don't worry.
There you go. Scott M not budging. Ian, you must be absolutely over the moon, super delighted, and are we now title favourites, Ian? Are we title favourites?
Without a doubt. No question about it.
What's that? The quad is on, Ian.
Yeah.
The quad is on.
Listen, I'm obviously over the moon tonight. It was phenomenal performance. I mean, when was the last time City got beaten 4-0 at the Etihad? Can anybody remember? 52 games without defeat over 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And, just superb. Just superb. And it's funny, actually, because we seem to make a habit. We scored 3 last season in the 3-3 draw. We scored 3 when Kane had that most amazing match, best game he's ever played, and we beat them 3-2. I think we scored 2 the year before that when we were 2 up and lost 4-2. So we don't have a problem scoring at the Etihad. I mean, 11 in 4 games is superb. This team probably, I can't ever remember a team where the performances are so vast between ceiling and floor. I think I honestly can't remember. There's no halfway, is there? They're either superb, we're either battering Villa, you know, we're shit against Palace, battering Villa, awful against Ipswich, and then we've got them battered City on their ground. Try and make sense of that. It's mad. It's absolute madness.
That's why I've called tonight's show Inconsistent.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought was a good subject title. But listen, absolutely delighted. But the interesting thing is that he played a deeper line for the 3 since Palace. I think we're all on after Palace. It was like, Jesus Christ, it was like the end of the world, wasn't it? The performance was horrendous, just dreadful. And everybody was looking at the next 4 games thinking, Jesus, what's going to happen here? We've got City twice, Villa who are in form, and Ipswich. And all of us thought we'd have 1 win and 3 defeats. And it's the complete reverse. And why? Because he's played a lower line where he's allowed defenders to defend properly. You know, and Dragerson and Davis aren't the best, but boy, were they good tonight. You know, and they're coming onto the ball rather than turning, you know, and sprinting backwards. And as soon as he stopped the high line after 10, 15 minutes today, we were comfortable. And boy, he's a keeper. Where's Iggy? He'll be cheering about Vicario tonight. I mean, you know.
James Flower's gone clubbing, apparently. He's gone clubbing after that. He's gone
what, with Iggy?
He's gone clubbing.
Brilliant.
Quick super chat from Matt Coppin. Big up, Matt. You're welcome to jump on. You got the link. Can Scott M say we took our goals well? Scott, can you say that or not?
Sure, if that's what he wants. Yeah. I didn't see the last Brennan Johnson goal, so I assumed that bounced off of him accidentally, like most of his goals do. But the Madison goal for sure was a quality. Both of his were quality finishes for him. They were nice goals.
Yeah, Spurs scored some good worked goals today. Sava, so are you prepared to admit, not that you haven't admitted it, but I'm just asking if you will admit it, are we just Man City's bogey team? Because if there's one team, and we were saying it before the game, we all predicted a loss, most of us. We all said, look, but because we're Spurs, we could get a draw. No one has ever done that to City in their ground in the last, God knows how many years, maybe 10 years. Are we just their frigging bogey team and they shit themselves when they play us? Or was it a masterclass from Andrew?
I mean, look, it would appear so. It would appear so. I mean, I don't go along with all this childish Decky had and all that kind of nonsense. I mean, I feel like that would sum up us as a football club, that we give nicknames to stadiums rather than win trophies. Listen, what I can say still is this. I want to be consistent. When we lose, I will berate, right? When we win, I will give the credit where it's due. That was a superb performance. That was the best I've seen us play under Ange. And I know we're going to get into this later. For me, it's the best I've seen us play under Ange because we stopped playing Ange ball. We actually looked like an organised team with a settled back 4 and 2 holding midfielders, wingers that stayed wide. Funnily enough, James Maddison, who everyone's given loads of shit to, comes into the midfield and was absolutely superb in the number 10 position, not playing in midfield.
Plenty of space.
Plenty of space to do his thing. Plenty of space to ghost into the box. So for me, look, credit where it's due. That was a great win. That was an absolutely superb win. And listen, if we can't celebrate wins like that, then there's no point being fans. However, right, again, what I can't do is go, the amount of shit still, I said to you before the stream, the amount of shit I've had in my YouTube comments already. And I keep messaging back everyone the same thing, going, hang on, you weren't saying this when Ipswich beat us. You weren't saying this when Palace beat us. We are the most bipolar Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde football team in the world. I can't work us out. Some people will say he's changed his tactics. Some people will say Man City forced us into it. I want to see, you know what I'm going to say, I want to see some bloody consistency. Not win one, lose one, win one, lose one. Very happy for tonight. Great game. No one does that. I was wrong. I said we'd lose 2 or 3-1. Absolutely own that. I was wrong. No one beat City at the Etihad. We just went and done it. But what I've got to see is consistency. Not 2 games, not 3. Let's have a 7-8 game run where we win 5 or 6 and draw 1 or 2. Let's see that. We can't keep being this fan base where we lose to Ipswich. Again, when we lose to Ipswich, players aren't good enough. He hasn't been backed. Yeah, it's not his fault. We beat Man City. Oh my God, it's Ange ball and the players are brilliant to a man, which they were. But which one is it? Which one is it still? Like, I don't know what we are. I don't know who we are. I just know that today was a great win. And that's where I'll leave. It was a great win.
I just quickly want to say to Saeed TV in the chat, your friend, is it Culture Cams that was on the Big Six on Thursday? Yeah, he said quite an interesting little speech about Spurs and Man United. You might want to rein him in a little bit after today. Just saying, it's up to you. Big up anyway. Big up everyone in the chat. Thanks for being here. Smash a like, subscribe to all the channels. I will go through some comments shortly. I just want to get everyone's opinions first. David, right. So when I first ever met you, you were quite protective of Levy. Then you began to shift a bit across. Like, actually, do you know what? I'm seeing a different light now. I'm not on board with it. Does a result like that? Does a performance like that? Does something? What we saw today, which we've seen no team go to the Etihad and do that to them, does it now shift you back the other way and kind of fall into what Sav is saying? Which one are you? Which one are we? I'd like to know where you're at on this, because you've always been someone that's kind of pivoting, and I wonder if tonight's kind of changed your mind a bit or not.
Well, to be fair, since what he done to the OAPs, I've pretty much gone into the other camp when it comes to Levy. I'm probably on your side on that now. And I don't really want to focus on him now, because actually he's going to look at this and think I'm doing things right. But we all know he's stripping the wage bill down to sell the club, and that's a good thing. It's probably going to ruin us in the short term. But I want to echo actually what Sav said there. You know, I'll very much criticise the football side of things when we're playing badly, and I'll compliment us when we're doing well, and today was a great performance. But I look at it like, if you like great whiskey, you'll go to sort of the Highlands in Scotland. If you like great cheese, you'll go to the Netherlands. If you like great wine, you'll go to France. If you like an unreliable, inconsistent football team that'll make you pull your hair out, you go to North 17 London. And that's Spurs at the moment, because we, apart from the first 10 minutes where we had to hold on, the last 80 minutes of that football match today, we were superb to a man. Every single player done their job. They dug in for one another. They played as a team, and we was actually really good with the ball at our feet, pass and move, getting out of the City press. And we played really, really well. And we should be supporting that performance today. And anyone that wants to congratulate Spurs today and celebrate that today should be allowed to do so. Of course, that's what we follow football teams for. We should be celebrating tonight and enjoying that, having a glass of wine, glass of beer, whatever is your tickle. Boom, go and enjoy that today. But yeah, the Levy comment, that actually was a little bit of a curveball there. Still, I wasn't expecting that.
That's what I do. The Spurs Dan list. I want you to take this super chat. If we'd beaten Ipswich and lost this game, we'd be in exactly the same league position. This win proves nothing. Do you agree, or do you disagree with that?
I agree with it. There's 2 things I want to say tonight. I mean, I'm in total shock, absolute shock. I just did not see that coming, that performance. I don't understand it. I don't get it. How can you lose to Ipswich and then put in a performance like that? Mr. Inconsistent, that is who we are. And until we start winning games in a row, 3 or 4 wins in the Premier League, we won't be able to shift that label. Look, I have to praise the team. I have to praise Ange. I'm so happy, and that's what we want to see as fans. We want to see performances like that. I mean, we wish we would have it more. It was just amazing. It was, special performances for Kulu, Maddison. But just the whole team, they were fighting for every ball. They showed passion. They were fighting for the badge. And that's what I wanted. And what a game. What a performance. Now, number 2, what I need to talk about is it's happening again, isn't it? The told you so's are back. And the Ange inners, the Ange believers, You know, they're properly jizzing in their pants tonight. They really are. I'm not jizzing in my pants. Not yet. There's a long, long way to go. You know, there's so much more this team needs to prove before I believe in Ange. So look, fantastic result. Celebrate it, everybody. Please do. I will be. But until we start showing that consistency and getting a run together, I'm not behind Ange.
Fair enough. Alex, so how much of that was down to Ange and the players, and how much was that down to Man City are in a rut and defensively they look an absolute shambles? And we've seen it in previous games as well. This wasn't the first time in the last kind of 5-6 games where we've seen City at the back all over the place. So what was this more down to, in your opinion? Spurs' brilliance or City's rut?
I think it's a bit of both. I have to be honest. I think it is a bit of both when you look at it. I think at the end of the day, I think it's an absolutely fantastic performance. I said this on other channels. One channel said that I was looking very miserable because I've got a loud voice, which is fascinating. You know what I mean? And I think I've even had a little bit of a conversation with Dan and said that this is a very fantastic counter-attacking performance, which people disagree with, which is fascinating, and that's it. But I think it highlights the inefficiencies that we have and where we've been at. So, you know, where we've been as a team, and that's it. But yeah, Man City have their deficiencies, yes, but we perform very, very well. You know what I mean? Because the first 10 minutes, I thought that Man City could have completely overruled us, and that's it. But we composed ourselves, and then we scored the goals that we scored, and that's it. And for me, we have to give them credit. For me today, Sarr is improving. I don't think he's improved to the levels where I can say, yeah, at the moment. I've got to see it over a bit of time. Maddison, absolutely majestic today. Kulu, some of the goals, because of Kulu, was fantastic as well. Defense, I'll stick by what I say. Romero should be fighting for his place now. I'm sorry. Right, if we're going to do this, the competitive squad, right now, Dragoson and Davis have got the shirt. Simple as that. I don't want Romero just getting back in easily. He's to fight for his place now. Sorry, there's been a couple of performances now from those two, and they perform very, very well. Okay, so for me, if we're going to go on that basis, if this is a competitive squad, I don't want Romero just getting back into the team. You've got to fight for your place, son. Simple as that. That's what a squad does. Simple as that. And give credit to Werner for that fourth goal. You know, good assist for Johnson to get his tap in, and that's it. The third goal is brilliant. I've got to be honest. A beautiful goal, and that's it. And to be honest, I'm quite happy tonight. I'm pretty happy tonight. But again, I have to go back on. I think Sam is absolutely spot on. And yeah, it's going to come to me as well, because people love to have a go at the people that are actually real, and that's it. We need to see this consistency, and that's it. And it doesn't prove anything to me still, because I did say on Football Heritage TV, give a little bit of a club to my boy Sava, and you need to subscribe to his channel every single time. Yeah, you know what I mean.
I mean, Alex, have a look. Somebody just said in the chat, Sava looks so upset. I'm literally sending a WhatsApp to my wife. What are you talking about? Like, how can I look upset? I'm on my phone WhatsApping. You fucking idiot. Sorry for my F word. Sorry.
I know,
it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, isn't it?
I've just done a whole watch along praising how good we were today and praising Scott. You watched it. I praised everyone and everything. I come on here, I'm texting like this, and I get Sava looks unhappy. What do you want me to do?
It's the same thing. Other people have said it, and I saw everybody look so sad. I looked around. I think like 4 of us had a smile. 2 people were just looking like they were listening. I mean, half the time I'm over here watching college football, so I apologize. Like, how anyone can actually? They just say what they want to think, right? It's so silly. Like,
you know what's coming. It's just that's the thing. This is a ridiculous thing. But this is the thing. right? Come at me all day long. This is what's going to fuel Mr. Box Office, and Mr. Box Office is going to be still on YouTube every single time, causing and battering you to pieces. So honestly, because I'm going to get the inspiration from Sava doing the debate shows, because honestly, I'm up for it all day long. Yeah, but today, brilliant performance, and that's it. Bring on the YouTube video saying we're going to win the league now on YouTube. Big up, back to you. Still, I'm done. If you don't know, get to know.
Do you know what? Right, it's interesting. People want to do that because for me, I'm just going to give you my quick analysis in 30 seconds, and I'm going to repeat what I've said every time we've won a game. I couldn't give a shit. I couldn't care less. I feel nothing, and the reason is because unless we go 5-6 games in the Premier League unbeaten, it means nothing. Nothing's changed. Ange's a nobody, and these players are nothing special. Go on an actual run now. Don't lose the next 5 or 6 Premier League games. Even if you draw, don't lose any. And then I will sit here and say, I think there's progression. I think we're turning a corner. But then if we go and lose, let's say we beat Fulham and we go to Bournemouth. I'm like, what's the point? And then we go to Southampton and something stupid happens there. And this is what I've seen all season. And this is what I've seen under Ange. Ever since that Chelsea 4-1, that's exactly what I've seen. I'm shocked we beat Man City. I'm stunned. I was surprised we beat Villa by that scoreline. I even predicted we'd lose to Man United. We beat them 3-0. But then what happens after is what will make me change my mind. Am I going to celebrate tonight? No. Dave can. Others can. Good. Celebrate it. But me, I don't get sucked in. I'm not a fan. I used to be a fan that used to just enjoy the wins. Yes, we won. Yes, we won. And then when we lose, I'm down. I'm down. I'm now at a stage at a Spurs fan under this manager, these transfers, this owner. I'm just now at a place where, mate, unless you take me back to what I had under Poch, where I really thought we were going to win a league, and I genuinely thought we were going to win a European trophy, like we got there and we almost did it. Unless you get me back there, I don't care, man. I don't care. I just feel we've gone backwards. So, and that's what I've said every time we've won a game, and I've been consistent with that. And then when we lose a game, when we lose, I come on and I say, guys, this is why I don't get hyped up when we win games, because there's no consistency. But look, if fans want to enjoy it tonight, David's right. Enjoy it. Pour yourself a glass of wine. Go have a good night with the missus. Do your thing, man. Do your thing, right? But for me, I'm just going to say, I don't care. It means nothing, because at the end of the day, I need to see that word we've said many times tonight, consistency. But look, that's just me, and I appreciate a lot of fans aren't like that. So come for me. But I'm only repeating what I've said: win, lose, or draw. I've been consistent with it. I have. So
can I just say something?
Listen, don't stop at one woman either. Go for 2 or 3. You know, really go push the boat out.
I'm married, mate. It's not that simple.
Can I just say one thing? I think it's such
David's
a shame.
talking to all the single men out there, all right? All the single men, all the single ladies. He's not talking to the married massive. Yeah, go on, Sava.
No, I was just going to say, I think it's a real shame when I'm almost dreading winning games, right? Not because I don't want Spurs to win, because the moment Spurs win a game, the abuse and stupid comments that come in are just overwhelming. We're not talking 1 or 2 still. We're not talking, oh, fuck it, you know, I'll ignore that. It's all night. From the moment we finish tonight, my whole chat has just been, Ange out as gutted. What? I'm a Spurs fan. We won 4-0. I'm happy. Oh, see, you were wrong. What was I wrong about? We lost to Ipswich 2 weeks ago, and now we've won today. I'm confused. Just had someone message me going, you're a yes man. Everyone's a yes man because you only have subscribers only mode on your channel. Well, no, I only have subscribers only mode to limit the abuse. Do you know what I'm like? It's getting to the point where I'm like, what's the point anymore of offering football opinions? As a Spurs fan base, my hope tonight was simple. And Scott, again, you can back me up. You watch my watch along, right? I said, can we for once, just for one night, be happy that we've won and a brilliant performance? Talk about the game without everyone going, gutted. Most of these people haven't supported Spurs as long as me. And I'm hearing, gutted, you wanted Spurs to lose. I'm just losing the will to do it. Like, it's so boring now. It's so boring. Sorry, rant over.
It was a great game, great result. First 10, 15 minutes, I was a bit wary. They definitely weren't on form on putting it in the back of the net. But at the end of the day, for once, we took all our chances.
Is that
I
it?
think if I'm going to be totally honest, I think there was only 2 players on the pitch that I would even say had a special game to themselves as such, and that was Kulusevski and Maddison. I think everyone else played well, but I think what made everyone else look special tonight is that we actually played as a unit, a team, 11.
Great.
We didn't just play of 3 or 4 people had a banging game and had to rake up for the others on there. We didn't just someone carried it for us or whatever. Everybody in that team played as a unit. Everybody in that team played in their right position to what they are best at. We didn't have no inverted wing back crap. We didn't have no centre back sitting on the halfway line. We didn't just have no defensive midfielder when needed. We had everybody playing to what they are good at. If anything, the only one out of sync was Kulu playing on the right, and he had a brilliant game with it. And there we go again. Average team, good team. Get everyone playing their right way still. You will get a team playing right. Get them playing to their right style of play. Counter-attacking football is the way, not Ange way. Last bit I'll say still. And then I've had enough people say, yeah, but Ange ball is counter-attacking football. I'll put it, fuck off. So many people have said, I don't want to see Conte ball. It's boring. It's this, it's that. I like Ange ball because it's attacking football. But now you're telling me that this was Ange ball, it's counter-attack. Make your minds up. Counter-attacking football is quality and fast when you got the team to do it. There we go again. There is your proof. Ange ball is not the way put forward.
Dan, just a small thing.
That's who we are, mate.
Just to add to what you've just said, I don't know if people noticed, for the first goal, Kulu's won the ball from Guardiola. He's cutting in, and then if you see Guardiola drop back, and that was because Porro made a run round the outside, overlapping. Instead of being in like a 10, he went wide. Guardiola wasn't sure whether to go with Porro or not, gave Kulu the extra space to whip the ball into Maddison. And that's typical, and that's how you should play football.
Do you know what I saw for both of the first 2 goals? The back 4 were disorganised. It actually looked like classic Spurs when we bottle it. And also what I saw was this big space in front of the back 4 of Man City where no number 6 or defensive mid dropped into that pocket. And I think that's what I've been seeing from Man City actually in the past few games. And they were wasteful in front of goal. They were wasteful against Sporting Lisbon. They were wasteful with Haaland in the first 10, 15 minutes. But we capitalised on it and we did what we had to do. So that's where you've got to give Spurs praise. What I do want to ask you guys, though, by the way, DB, thank you so much for the super sticker. We appreciate that. Hello, Maz. Welcome to the show. I just want to ask you something, because my friend who I used to coach with, he's a big QPR fan, knows his football. He messaged me tonight saying, watching you lot is so entertaining. You never know what you're going to get. I said, yeah, for you neutrals, it's great. For us, it's fucking hard work. And he said to me, Man City is the perfect team for you guys. The way they play is perfect for what Ange wants to do, as in that space. Do you think, because Arsenal went there and Arsenal only got a draw. Okay, they were down to 10 men. But do you feel, because when we played Arsenal, we lost to them 1-0. Do you feel teams that are compact, organised, and a more disciplined unit that are quite aggressive in shutting us down and tackling, a bit more physical, we look god-awful against? But teams that do open up and do give us a bit more freedom of the park, that's when we shine. That's when we actually look like we're a good team. Do you feel that the way Ange has us playing and the players he's signed suits us playing certain teams, but it's really, really difficult against other teams? Do you think that's kind of where we're at with it at the moment?
At the moment versus City it is, because then they're in bad form. But if you get a City that knows that is playing well, then by them playing well, they are organised and can defend and attack, then we're in real trouble.
But Maz, we did get into them in the Carabao Cup, though, didn't we? I know they had some weakened players, but
that was the start of their bad run, though, right? That was the start of their demise, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I'm saying in that game they did give us that space, though, to score those goals.
Yeah, well, I think that's always the case with us. So the teams that try and play football against us, we tend to do a lot better, don't we? Because they're more open and they take more risks, and then we can exploit that with the way we break quick down the pitch. We don't seem to exploit it when we're heavily in possession and we're just playing horseshoe football, which is the funny thing about it. We're such a schizophrenic team. It's unbelievable. You just do not know what Tottenham is going to turn up. I think what happened today, and I'm loath to sort of credit. I'm just being truthful. I'm loath to sort of credit Ange, because reading some of his pre-match press conferences, I was thinking, okay, well, he's saying the right things about the poor games we had against the Ipswiches and so forth. And I'm thinking, what is he gonna change up for this game? And I don't think he necessarily changed things up, because we've seen this before. But we played, from what I could see, 2 banks of 4, and we intercepted the ball really well, and we broke really fast, and then we defaulted back into our normal formation when we were attacking, with our front 3 and Maddison, etc. I don't think we did all 3 of our goals were really good. I thought they were really good moves, well executed. Cooley was excellent. Maddison was excellent today. Son, I don't think was very good today. Although he wasn't bad, I don't think he was very good. I think Solanke was decent. He worked hard. But I couldn't identify why we were winning, apart from the fact that Man City just looks so off it. But I also don't want to just take away from our performance, because we didn't make any glaring mistakes, which is a miracle almost for us. And Davis and Dragusin done well, all things considered, as did the fullbacks. That's not to say they were perfect, but everyone played well today, and everyone played compact and as a team. And what I got out of the game at the end is, well, if we don't play Ange ball, look how much better we look. As Dan said, if we don't play those stupid inverted fullbacks and actually give the defenders a bit more time to be in their right position when we're being attacked, they look a little bit better. So yeah, I think it's it's a good performance today. I don't think anyone should be unhappy. I echo what everyone said. We need to see consistency. This could be a flash in the pan, because we go to Fulham and lose. So, we need to see a good run of consistency. I might as well just say my piece now and then be quiet and let everyone else say. But
to be fair,
I still think. Sorry,
just to answer your question.
Let's finish what you're about to say, David.
I think that Adoji is still losing concentration and losing the ball, and then and his decision making. I don't know if coaching's the answer for it or what, but sometimes he makes these passes that you think, why did he take that risk? He's still doing that. I think that Son out on the left, I think he's either injured or age has caught up with him, because I just don't think that. Yeah, I just don't think that I think we need to plan to replace him now. I really do think. I mean, even if it is an injury, and even if he comes back, and even though that he's still probably our best finisher, I just think that we, as a club, we need to plan for the successor to Son properly, as in who we're going to get that's going to be of Son's level. And I don't know what the answer is to that, but as a club, we need to plan. And that's it.
David,
that's all I've got to say. Yeah.
I was just going to sort of answer Maz's sort of question as he was going in there. I don't think there was much difference in the teams today, other than the fact that we were clinical and City wasn't. I think that was the only thing that we were good at today. We was very, very clinical in our chances going forward. I don't think we dominated them for 90 minutes, not for 1 minute. And the performance, there wasn't much. Yeah, We weren't
So-
better than them throughout 90 minutes. We were just very, very clinical going forward. And
Can I just
defended as a team.
identify? I just want to identify the things that I thought we were really good at today,
Can I say,
because I want to
I
credit
thought-
the team.
I just want to say one thing on this before you go. I thought we looked fitter than them, personally speaking.
Yeah.
I thought we looked like a more fit
Well,
team.
you're stealing my thunder. I just want to identify the really good the good things that I did see today that I think we need to credit the team. Fitness, you've said it. I think we were intercepting their play a lot, and we were putting in crucial tackles at the right time a lot today. And I noticed Maddison done that a few times, Basuma done it a few times, Sarr was doing quite well at doing that today. I think Kulu was. Look, I really feel that we need to just lay off Kulu going forward into the season, because I do feel that this season I think he's been our best player just overall. Not in terms of GA or anything like that. I just think overall he's been our best player. If there's anyone in that team who doesn't let the other team bully him, it's him.
I don't.
He's strong. He's strong. He can put a tackle in when he needs to, and he can beat a man when he needs to. And every now and again, he does something really good. So he's the least. I'm not saying he's the solution to us becoming a Pochettino team, or, as you were saying earlier, still challenging or anything like that. But he's the least of our problems. I think he really is the least of our problems.
He plays well, but I don't think you can. I don't think you can say that though. Sorry to interrupt.
Say
you,
what?
But when is it say that? Oh, we just got to lay off Kulusevski. Sorry, no, that's not the way we do things. Like, you just continue. You continue
Doing what?
but keep on performing like that. Then that's what top players do. That's the thing.
But he's been more consistent than most, though, hasn't he, Alex?
Yeah, but at the same time, I've said he's in good form, yes. But, there's still going to be doubters like myself at the moment. I don't rate him still. You know what I mean? I think he's a good counter-attacking player. That's the thing. So that's the thing for me. But I gave him his credit today. Yes, he was fantastic today with Maddison, and that's it. But I'm not laying off him because I don't rate the player still. So that's the way it is, and that's the way it is, and that's the way it is for me, and that's it. So sorry.
Basically, you're saying he hasn't been consistent enough on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Whereas Maz is right. What he's saying, 100%, that he has been our best, most consistent player, even though he's been inconsistent for the season.
You're just describing Tottenham Hotspur.
Bad games.
Everyone in our team's inconsistent. I mean, you might as well just bin every player and just say they're inconsistent, because that's what Andrew's created.
But Maz, I'm not saying that, right? I was trying to make it brief because everybody obviously stuff to say. But the point I'm making is, right, is that I'll give them credit for today. I'm happy today, right? But do it again, right? And I still I have to do it again, because what top tiers do. People are now looking at Foden at the moment, struggling. Right, he had a fantastic season last season, right? So if the metrics are up for him, and look how young he is, I think he's similar age to Kulu, right? This is what we're up against, right? So this is the thing. I know my threshold for a top player, right? Because I've seen top players.
Alex, I never said that, mate. You're projecting other people's arguments on what I've said.
But that's just for me. That's just for me. That's why I'm giving Kulu a bit more harder time than other people.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Fair enough.
I don't know why we're questioning or talking about Kulu today.
No, I'm not questioning it. I'm not questioning it. That's not the thing I'm doing. My point is, I think I'm fed up with repeating myself. I thought he's fantastic today, right? But we need to see this on a consistent basis.
But this is but what Maz is saying, Alex, I hear what you're saying. I agree. Listen, when people say he's the best midfielder in the Premier League, I agree. It's madness. But what I think Maz is saying is, and I think he has got a point. Feel free to disagree with it, but he's saying that we should give him a bit of breathing space, because out of all the midfielders, he's consistently performing more than anyone else we've got. Not that they're all performing consistently, but he's arguably one of the most consistent. I think the same argument could be made for Maddison as well, though, Maz, which you do get on his case. I have to say that.
I get on his case because I expect so much more from him. As in, I think ability wise, he's our best probably attacker, and I just expect him just to like what he did today. I expect that of him most of the time. I just have high standards for it for Maddison, and when I see him mooning and stuff.
But isn't it funny that today, like Maddison actually was given the space without
exactly
fullbacks in his way, without Kulu coming into the middle and being in his way, without Sonny being in his way. So listen, I'll sit here and say this. I thought that was our best win for years. If we're going to be honest, I thought that was our best win for years in terms of going to a top club, away from home, 4 goals, not conceding, defending really well. Basuma playing 94 minutes with a yellow card. I thought all of them to a man were brilliant today. No one can take that away. But what I noticed today was, again, no Brennan Johnson. So we played with 11 men today. And what I mean by that is, yes, Brennan Johnson, we know he got the goal. That's what he does. He goes in and score goals. But what you noticed by Kulu going back out to the right, and I'm not saying he's a winger, by Kulu going out to the right, when Kulu gets the ball doesn't just come back to us immediately. Because Kulu, unlike Brennan Johnson, will try and take a man on. He will try and bully that player. He's strong. He'll keep the ball. Brennan Johnson doesn't do any of that. And what you notice is he stayed wide. Sonny stayed wide left. Maddison had space. And he had 2 midfielders behind him. None of this 1 midfielder and 2 attack. He had 2 midfielders behind him doing a lot of the work. He came back in and helped when he needed to. He got forward and drove forward the ball when he needed to. And isn't it funny when he's allowed to be a number 10, we see him ghosting into the box, scoring goals, and he's got the most goal output of any footballer at this club this season. And he's still the one, most weeks, that is the scapegoat. He's got the most goal output. And Perchi and I did a show yesterday where we actually brought up all their stats, Kulusevski's versus Maddison's. And I'm not saying it doesn't have to be either or. I think you've got to play both somehow. But Maddison's was better at everything. He doesn't lose the ball as much as Kulu. He creates more chances than Kulu. He scores more goals than Kulu. He assists more. His recoveries are better. His tackling back is better. All of these things, but we all sit there and go, Kulu's one of the best midfielders. I love Kulu for what he does. I think he's a very good player for what he does. I just think it's the usual Tottenham thing that we don't just say we've got a good player. We have to go, we've got a good player. Actually, no, he's great. No, he's not. He's the best in the league. We're like what Ian said about our performances. They're 1 or they're 100. That's what we're like with our players. We can't ever say a player's good. We have to give them a superlative in front of their name. Phenomenal, sensational. It's like, I think Kulu's a good player that has to start every game. His work rate is phenomenal. But you've got to find that space for James Maddison. But I want to caveat all of this. And say, for me, I enjoyed that performance more than any other. Not for the 4-0, but for the fact that I didn't see inverted fullbacks. I didn't see centre-halves playing high up the pitch. I didn't see fullbacks leaving their wingers. We played as a team. Sonny and Kulu came back and helped their fullbacks out, which we never normally really do. Solanke was allowed to be a target man. 2 midfielders. I thought we got it spot on. So what I want to see now, when we go to the next game and it's not a Man City, it's not a team that has more of the football than us, what do we do? Do we just ditch everything good we did today and start leaving all the gaps in behind again and we go straight back to Romero and Van der Ven? Or do we turn around and go, and this is what I want to see, guys, that 11 starts. For me, that 11 starts next week against Fulham. I don't care if your name is Romero, Van der Ven. They've not been that good that they walk straight back in. That is how you know we're going to be a big club if we do that. Because today, Dragoshin and Davis were exceptional. They were brilliant. They cleared everything. They battled. They worked hard. The clearances, the blocks off the line. That should be rewarded. And if he doesn't next week and we just go straight back to Romero and Van der Ven, I don't know what we're doing. So that's what I'm
He will, Sava. I think he's gonna. Yeah.
Ricky's out till the middle of December, I think.
No, but
Sure,
what I
okay,
mean
but
is
even
that
Romero, yeah.
he's
come in.
Andrew's one of those people that he just doesn't reward good play. Like look what he did to Lo Celso when he had 2 brilliant games. He just dropped him.
Yeah.
I just I'm not hoping.
Guys, I've got to make a couple of points because I've got to jump off. Can I make a couple of points?
Yeah, go for it, Dan. Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so just going back to what you said, Stel, and I agree with everything, Sabi, you said, actually. You're spot on. A couple of things there. You said about, are we better against playing teams that are a bit more open? I just don't think we can even say that yet. I think we saw what happened against Brighton. They're an open team, and we lost that one. So I think it's a bit early, and we need to judge it over more games. But look,
Dan, we didn't do what we did today against Brighton, did we? That's my point. Against Brighton, we had the really high line. Today, we actually had a back 4.
Yeah, so this is what I mean. We need to do it again. When we face a team that's going to come at us, it's going to be more open. Let's see if Ange does the same tactics. Also, I think there was what I spotted before the game when I saw the lineup, Man City. They were out Kovacic. Obviously, we all knew Rodri was out for for most of the season anyway. I thought that was going to be a problem for City, and I think we took advantage of that. I don't know if everybody agrees. And finally, before I jump off, I just need to say this team. Now, I want to go and see us beat Fulham. I want to go away to Bournemouth and win. Yeah, we must. If we don't, then nothing is getting better. And that's me done for the night. Sorry, guys, I've got to jump off. I've got to work. But anyway, big up to everybody. Big up everybody in the chat. Big up to everyone on the panel.
Make sure you follow Spurs Danlist TV. Go follow his channel. Support him. By the way, London Broil, I missed this earlier. Sorry. Thank you for your super sticker. I appreciate it. The starting lineup today. Actually, let me bring it up. I've got it here. Here we go. With the starting lineup today, because Dan just mentioned it. When you saw this starting lineup, I don't know about you guys, but I felt the front 3 against the back 4 that Man City had was quite evenly matched. I thought the midfield was evenly matched, but I felt that their attacking 3 were better than our back 4, and that's where I thought they'd edge it. And I also said that I'll get Mans because on the bench we had Spence, Hardy, Gray, Bergvall, Alusi, Johnson, Werner, Lancashire. I mean, some of these names I haven't even heard of. No real game changers there.
Gray had a good cameo, though, to be honest, didn't he? When he came on, he had a good cameo. Gray.
I think Gray Bergvall came on towards the end. Werner
Bergvall came on. Bergvall did okay. Made the interception that led to the 4th goal.
He did. He did. Ian about Gray.
I just didn't want to cause any more controversy.
Yeah, I caught that.
Great names come up. I thought just go along with it. But when you look at Man City's team, I thought Walker, Stones, Akanji, and Guardiola was more than enough to manage our front 3. Got that wrong. Lewis, Gundogan, and Bernardo. I thought they had a stinker. I thought Bernardo and Gundogan today were very average. And then the front 3, Savinho, Haaland, and Foden, they created, but they just didn't take chances. So overall, we actually outdid their defense and their midfield, but their bench, Grealish, De Bruyne, Nunes, Ake, I thought these are players that can come on and make a difference, and they didn't. So I'm just wondering, like, when you saw that starting lineup, were you worried? Because I was, but then after once we went 2-0 up, I thought, Jesus, man, this City team, something is wrong here. Something is really wrong. Because look, we beat them. Look, we did. We deserve it. But nobody realistically goes up there and does that to Man City. And come on, we are not 4-0 better than Man City.
They're missing their heartbeat at the minute, aren't they? They are missing their heart and soul.
We're missing our 2 centre-backs as well, Dan.
And that is Rodri. But that's not our heart and soul. Well, usually the way we usually
people say Bentancur's our best centre-mid. We're missing him as well.
No, we're not.
Usually, the way we usually play, Van der Ven is basically our heart and soul, because if he's not on there and we're sitting on the halfway line, we're screwed. Yeah? But it's like, if we did start Romero, he's been probably one of our worst, if not our worst overall player this season, in my opinion, especially by the standards he's meant to have.
Yeah.
But I think you go and play Romero in this style where he hasn't got to sit on the halfway line. You're going to see someone. You'll see him be better. You will see any defender, centre back, be better that doesn't have to sit on the bloody halfway line. But City, you could definitely see they missed things today, without a doubt. They didn't look clinical up front. I mean, you'd say 4-0, you'd think we dominated that game. Well, if you look at the stats, like people like to bring up and that, we didn't actually dominate them. They was all over us most of the time. We was just bloody clinical and got them very good on the counter attack.
Dan, we had they had 60% possession almost. They had 23 shots compared to our 9, although we had more on target. They had 150 more passes. Clear cut passes, though, we created more. So I think they had was more possession, more shots, but the quality of our shots and our clear cut chances were more superior.
The opposite of what we usually are to other teams, isn't it? When people say we've dominated the game, but didn't deserve to lose it. Yeah.
Spot on.
Now, for me, we did not dominate that game. Yeah. For me, we just played that game bloody good, was clinical when needed to be, and did what we was meant to do. You do not have to dominate this bloody game with 80%, 70% possession of football. Possession does not win you games. Okay, shots on goal can win you games. Take your shots or whatever, but if they're not on bloody target, they still don't count for shit, do they? We were clinical when it mattered today. And possession, again, it just proved, does not win you games. It doesn't.
Going back to what you just asked, what did I think when I saw the team? I thought it was more solid. We complained about Johnson not dropping back. Kulu protected Porro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whereas Johnson doesn't. Sonny was dropping back. So when they had the ball, we just dropped back into a 4-5-1 formation, which is how it should be. Solanke's the lone man, target man, ball goes, you clear your lines, he can hold it up, bring players in as we're moving up. And that's how you should play football.
Yeah, but Ian, didn't you also notice? Sorry, get one thing. I wanted to see if people noticed this. At times, we were basically playing with 3 at the back. When we countered them and went forward, our 2 defenders pretty much stayed back. But then either one of Sarr or Basuma came back and not far off made it 3 at the back. So we had cover there for when it came back on us a couple of times. So for me, I know it was you could say it was a 4-2-3-1, a 4-3-3, whatever. But as soon as we was in attack, we made sure we held defenders back and we also literally made it 3 at the back.
Yeah,
I think
it was very balanced. The team was much better. He was playing 1 holding and 2 creative several games. In the wrong games, like Galatasaray, to use one example, and we got absolutely smashed to pieces in midfield. Today was much better. It reminded me a little bit of the game 2 years ago when Kane was terrific, and when they were attacking City in that game, because they had an awful lot of the ball. Kane was just fantastic throughout the game, but City had a lot of the game, and we defended very close. The players were close to each other. The defence and the midfield were very close to each other, and today reminded me of 2 years ago, and that's how teams work. They worked as a unit, and we came out with a win.
The thing is, we didn't play Ange ball, and we looked so much better.
That's what Dan said earlier. Scott, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, I know you want to talk about the starting lineup, but I think what the game really was wrong is Pep. The one thing you highlighted is look at that bench that Pep had. And he waited until the 74th minute to bring on KDB and to bring on Grealish. The only change he made at halftime was Aki. And what I know they're not fit, and maybe they're not. Maybe that's why they can't. But I think what we saw in the summer with Foden and what I'm seeing this year now is putting him out wide is not working for him. He's much better in the middle. And as you were saying, Silva and Gundogan weren't controlling the game. And maybe Sava, maybe Grealish couldn't play a whole half. But I just think that if you were bringing on, you had the players on your bench to change what was happening, and it wasn't working for them. They were creating but not finishing. And I just wonder if he's fit, if you could put Grealish on at halftime, maybe even move Foden back to the midfield and take off somebody like Bernardo Silva. Is that going to be something to change? Because City seemed like they had players on the bench to make a change and never did anything.
He said it after the game, didn't he? He said it after the game. He said that, I've got seniors on the bench, but they're not ready to play. He said I shouldn't have really played John Stones. Listen, I'm not making an excuse for them. He didn't, to be fair to him, he congratulated us. He didn't make any excuses. Do you know what I mean? He just said, look, I would have loved to have brought all the players, but they weren't fit enough. You know, he said Tottenham were better than us all over the park. And
I didn't hear those. I didn't listen to that. Sorry, sir. I didn't hear him after. I didn't hear those comments. So
yeah, no. Look. At the end of the day, I think again, even some of the people in the chat, I think they're getting a bit confused. Everyone here loved that we won. It was brilliant, but we're just trying to dissect how we go from the likes of Ipswich to today, and what does next week look like. I think at the moment we're in a position where, when you look at that starting 11 today, still, I think it was more constructive than normal, if that's the word, more balanced than normal. So almost forced into it because of injuries. No Bentancur in there meant that you had Basuma and Sarr that aren't as good on the ball as Bentancur, but actually did their jobs. I thought both of them did a very good job today. You know, there were times when they had to sit in. There were times when they had to press. There were times when they had to get their foot in. I thought they both went about their jobs brilliantly. But more than anything, that Dragosin and Davis partnership was forced upon us, but it worked. You had Dragosin playing right centre-back where he wants to play, Davis on the left-hand side, and neither of them were asked to go and do anything they're not comfortable doing. Neither of them were asked to go and play a high line, bring the ball out, because we know Man City are going to have most of the ball against any opponent, right? I would guess in all the games they've lost, they've probably had most of the possession. But it worked. It worked today. I thought we looked like an old school football team. If I don't know if that makes sense to anyone, but I just thought like all of this trying to reinvent the wheel, inverted players, this, that, the other. I just thought today it looked like we'd gone back to basics and it worked. And I was so
with one other thing as well. With one other thing, there were several times where it got a bit messy, and when in doubt, we kicked it out. We didn't try and play it out and everything. Like you said, old school, we booted it out.
It kind of reminded me. It kind of reminded me of Poch's team when there was games when Poch realised, look, we're just not playing well, and he just put two banks of four, or 4-5-1, sit deep and counter. And he did that so many times when we weren't playing well, and we eked out results against good and bad teams. And sort of Conte did that a little bit. Well, that is sort of his style, isn't it? But you know, I'm going to end with this because I'm going to go because I'm really tired. But Sava, exactly what you said. I don't know whether Ange is going to carry this team on. Or I don't think it's a team. I think it's more the tactics. Carry these tactics on into the next game or the next 4 or 5 games. I think as soon as players come back, he'll just revert back to the Ange ball way, and that's my fear. And that is part of the course for Ange. Is, you know, he doesn't learn. Let's hope he has learned, but unfortunately, he doesn't. But all credit to the team. I think we did brilliant today, and at least we're going to go into a high into the next game, and let's hope that something comes from it.
Maz, I know you said you're going, so maybe you can just listen as you're leaving. But my question to you would be, when you say, is he going to carry it forward? What reason do we have to think that he will? And that's why when I was talking to Sava earlier, and I said I'm not celebrating this win, is because I don't see anything in this game that I have any faith that we're going to use to build on towards success. Because I've looked at the games before, and we've never carried this kind of stuff on. It seems like every time we play like this and we say, oh, we had to change our tactics, it's because the other teams force us into doing it. So my question would be, why would we ever think that he's going to...
No, I agree. I mean, it's very easy for me to absolutely slam Ange and say nothing's changed. And I agree with you. There's nothing telling me that we're going to carry this on for the rest of the season, because we've seen what he's like. But I also, don't want to be hypocritical in the sense that we've all said we need to beat the top teams. And when we're beating the top teams, we can't then just come on and say, oh, well, no, you got to give him credit. He's beaten a few top teams this season. We wanted to see that, but now we want to see consistency. We want to beat top teams and crap teams.
No. And the reason I'm jumping in all over this is because we said we want to see us beat the top teams, but that means you maintain beating the weak teams. What he's
That's
done
what
now
I just said. I just said it. Still, don't have a go at me. I just literally just said that.
I'm having a go because I don't want us to beat the top teams if we can't beat the bottom teams. What's the point?
But that's what I just said that. Still,
but no, but you're giving credit then.
Well, you're allowed to give credit and lay out the foundations of what you want to improve going forward. Surely,
you're giving credit to the detriment of the reality of losing to the weaker teams.
But I think
like a philosophy.
I think that's why we're a mid-table team.
I think you went a bit happy clappy, personally speaking. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I think Maz. I agree with Maz. I do agree with Maz. I do agree with Maz. What he's saying though, to be honest with you, because we have to give him credit. But I think this highlights at the moment for me that we're still a mid-table team because we're up and down a lot of the time. You see what I'm saying?
We're not a mid-table team, Alex, are we? I think we are where we should be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So 7th to 10th.
No, I disagree, Alex. No, we are better than that, and I agree. A better manager who would play better football, like we played today. Was that Angie's tactics, or was it just
no? Listen,
that's what we'll see. That is what we will see. But I believe we play a majority of the time a counter-attacking style football, like we did today, like we did against Aston Villa. Like we have against other teams where we've absolutely completely smashed it, but then also got destroyed when we haven't done it, like against Brighton, where we still went gung-ho and then they cooked us for it. Change the tactics, you will get better out of a team. Don't invert your bloody wing-backs when they're not made to invert. They will play better.
Yeah, but Dan, I'll come back and you say this. I'll come back and say this to you then. We need to see this on a longer-term basis then. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying at the moment.
I'm going to go to bed. Night, folks.
Yeah. Big up, man. That's my argument. That's my argument. So just to change up, we're not.
Yeah, but I'm disagreeing. We are not a 7th place team. We are better than that if you play us the right way.
Yeah. Well, listen. At the end of the day, right? At the moment, I need to see that then, right? If we're gonna start paying, not start there.
You saw it today.
But unfortunately, one performance doesn't mean that we're.
You saw it against Aston Villa when we played totally different and played counter. Cool. Every time we play counter, we look good.
Yeah, we look good, but we need to continue this. You see what I'm saying? If we're going to question teams like Man City that have won, right, we're going to have to look at ourselves and say, okay, Man City are up to that level. Right, so what are we going to do? You see what I'm saying? I'm not comparing us to them. I'm just saying at the moment there are teams out there that are top teams that have done it and they're in question. Right, I'm saying a mid-table. I say a mid-table team being 7th to 10th, and that's it for me at the moment because we do have these performances, but then we do have other performances like that.
I get what you're saying.
Like last week as well. So I'm not saying I'm not putting down this performance. Listen, okay, I've said it already. I'm not going to say it again. I'm not putting down this performance at all. No. But I do see what Scott M's saying. That, you know, I can't get it a certain people because you can't get it started because you need to see what happens a long-term basis and that's it. You see what I'm saying? And it's again go back to what I say. I need to see it.
Yeah, we need to see someone.
And that's when I can't say we're a top team. And when we're a top team, then the standard goes up then.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What you're saying there, Alex. The point I'm making is if you play this team consistently the way it is made to play, then it is better than a top 17. But if you keep playing one way, then another way, then another way, then Ange way, it's just going to be up and down all the time. The point I'm making is play it consistently with what suits the players best. We are better than the top 17.
Can I read you a tweet? And I want to see if you guys agree with it. Right, I'm not going to tell you who wrote this yet, but it says the team's performance against Manchester City has been excellent for the past 2 years. I hope for consistency, not only against Man City. Consistency is key.
Yeah,
would you agree with that?
Agreed.
100%.
Yeah.
Right, that's an ex Spurs player that has posted that. It's Ramon Vega has posted that, right? And I agree 100%. That's all I'm saying. I just think people go from one extreme to the other. Look, it's madness. It's like if we're going to use the pulling on a night out, I know David likes to talk about this. It's like 1 week I can't chat to a good-looking girl to save my life. So I'm going for all the people with no confidence, just being dumped. I'm going for, and then the next week I go and pull a Margot Robbie. That's Spurs at the moment. It's like there's no, listen, today was brilliant. I don't think there's any getting away from that. Last week was the complete opposite against Ipswich. Villa was brilliant. The week before that, Palace was the complete opposite. I don't think it's too much to ask for consistency. And all I ask for is consistency with fans as well. And what I mean by that is stop every time we lose a game. Like if we lose to Fulham next week, it will be, he wasn't backed in the summer. So-and-so was injured. But it's not Angie's fault. But then we win a game like today and it's everyone going, oh my God, Angie's the man. He's brilliant. You guys are dumb. You don't understand. Cool. But keep that energy when we lose to Ipswich. Right? And this is the thing. I'll give him credit today because he got it spot on. It was perfect. But he had these very same players and some against Ipswich and got it very wrong. That is the nature of a manager. He will live and die by his results. But what we're doing in this fan base is we just keep sweeping. Every defeat goes under the carpet. And Ange is amazing because we beat teams. It has to level out. It has to level out. It can't be win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. It's just got to be consistent. But
Sava, these people don't turn up when we lose, though. They don't turn up because they don't turn up.
About that, Alex, right?
No. But I'm just saying. No, but Sava, I'm saying to you, right? These people that have a go at you, right? When we lose, they don't turn up. You get what I'm saying? I know this for a fact, right? So I'm saying I absolutely agree with you. I don't think it's going to. I don't think the fan base is going to change. So I'm not going to go on about. They're not going to change. They're not going to change at all. And I agree with you. This is what I'm pulling on at the moment. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm with you on this. I've got to see consistency. That's what I'm saying, and that's it. I'm happy with the win. I'm actually very happy the way we're playing, the way that we are. We're showing that we're doing this counter-attacking football. We need to continue with that, as far as I'm concerned. It's not my sort of football I like to watch, no. But I see what Dan was saying. Counter-attacking football does look very good when it's played very well, and that's it. So I can't.
Alex, you look at our last six. You look at our last six. It is lose, win, lose, win, lose, win, right? Yeah. And for me, yeah, you're not going to win every game. I'm not expecting any manager, especially at Tottenham, to come in and win every game. But there's just got to be a level of. We are so irrational as a fan base. We are so, oh my God, it's dreadful. Oh my God, it's amazing, amazing, brilliant, rubbish. It's like, for me, celebrate the win. Brilliant, of course, celebrate the win. Now, play Fulham, beat Fulham, brilliant. Then the next game, win that. Do you know what I mean? Get to the stage where we go, we've won four in a row. We've won 5 in a row. We're a serious team. But at the moment, when people are going, oh, I'm seeing people talk about title races again. At the end of the day, we're still below Brighton. We're level on points with Forest and Villa. Newcastle can go above us. So I just think everyone needs to take a bit of a chill until we actually level out, rather than that.
It's not going to happen. Because I've already seen on one other channel. I'm not going to mention the channel, but I've already seen one fan cam saying, "Oh, we need to give them time. We need to give them time." No, see, we proved our point. We need to give them time. We need to give youngsters time. It's like it's not going to change, Saba. I think we both know it. You know what I mean? That's what makes Spurs a great to speak on and give us lots of content, because that's what they give us. They give us this content. It's just that we just need to use it, and that's it. That's all it is.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you see a lot of the chat saying, "Oh, why can't you be positive today? You're all being negative." And I'm not seeing it that way. What I'm seeing you guys saying is, one swallow doesn't make a summer, right? We've been burnt too many times with this Spurs team to sit there and go, right, what a great performance today. Every single one of us has said that. The problem we've got is that we're realistic enough to know that this doesn't mean a lot in the grander scheme of things, because we don't follow it up the next week. We don't follow it up the next game. And that's all we're sitting there saying, because we can't trust Spurs. You know, it's like that. I don't want to use this analogy, but it's the one that's popping into my head. You know, if you've been beaten by your partner in the past and they say, "Oh, I'm a changed person," You're not. The leopard doesn't change its spots, right? And Spurs are like that. You can't sit there and go, Spurs are going to sit there and go on a run now and win loads of games, because Spurs will probably sit there and throw in a crap performance the next game, because that's what Spurs do. And we've seen it too many times. And you lot on this panel are quite decent enough when it comes to being realists. You're not negative, you're realists. And there's a difference in that. It's a great performance today. Not one of you has said it's a bad performance today. It's a great performance today, and all of you have said that. What you're sitting there countering it, going against, is let's do it again tomorrow. Let's do it again the next day, the day after that. And that's what we don't trust. And it's a trust.
We'll not use
thing,
that analogy, though. We'll not use that analogy, though, because we don't. We
Oh,
can't,
it's an analogy, isn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Right on what you're saying.
I get what you're saying, David.
Mate.
You
We've got to see Spurs now carry this on for another game, not then go and get our beating off a bloody Fulham after we've just done Man City 4-0 at their grounds, or go and lose a game to Ipswich when we've just done Villa or whatever, or Palace or whatever, and then we've got to see some consistency to get excited, if you want to put it like that. Okay, great result, great win. Players played brilliant. Ange looked like he got it right. Subs were good. Now let's see that for the next game. If we go and lose our next game and just get banged 2-0 because we go back to Ange ball, it makes this one irrelevant to me.
Dan, they just want to see us sit here for 90 minutes just going amazing, amazing. We've already said, I think everyone I've heard on this panel say, great win. Great win. Can't fault it. I'm not knocking Ange today.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, this for me levels out just how shit we were 2 weeks ago. So for me, we've met in the middle. Yeah?
Well,
and all you hear is, if we had beat Ipswich, and this is the point, if we had beat Ipswich, if we had beat Palace, and the fact that we didn't tells me that I need more of today's. I need more today's, less Ipswich and Palace's, and then I'll turn around and go, do you know what? Sorry, Ange. I was really hasty. You're right. But for 18 months, it's been that, and today and Ipswich is the complete... That's Spurs.
You're right again. It's like one of us turning around and saying, yeah, but if we'd have beat Liverpool, we would have won the Champions League. We didn't. End of. Now let's
we'll
go
hear
and see
all
if we
week.
can do something.
We know what the narrative we're going to hear this week is. Everybody said they couldn't beat top teams. Now they can beat top teams. What's your excuse now? And I don't think anybody said let's beat top teams and lose to Ipswich, right? The point was that we had to beat top teams and maintain our record against the lower teams, and that's what we're all saying. Right? And it's great, good. We beat a top team. That's great. But if you just replace beating top teams with losing to lower teams, then it doesn't really mean much at the end of the day.
You know what's frustrating? What's really frustrating? You're 2 up at Brighton, see out the game. Go to Palace, beat them, beat Ipswich, you level with Liverpool at the top of the table. And that's what's so frustrating, is that we're beating the top sides and we're losing to Brighton. Brighton are a good side.
But that shows we're not good enough, right, Ian? It shows we're not good enough.
That's right. At the moment, we are on the schedule for 60 points this season. Now, that for me is not good enough. 60 points.
Yeah, but if my auntie had wheels, she would have been a bike.
No, but David, we played 12 games at the moment. We got 19 points. You work that out over 38, we've got 60 points. So at the moment, we're still just, we're still, I suppose, mid-table.
I mean, we had this win, Ian, and we went to 6th place in the table. Like, that says, like, you want what we want. I think everybody on this panel wants. You beat a City team, and now you're up with Liverpool and in the top 3 because you have been consistent throughout the year before this. Yeah. And that's what we said when we said we want to see Spurs beating top teams. That's what we want to see to have more faith in them. And it wasn't that we want to see them just beat a random top team while losing 3 games before. That doesn't do any good.
No, I
think not winning those games.
All of us on the channel have said that with different style of play, different tactics, this is a better team than what we're seeing.
Yeah.
And today,
let's be fair, Ian, we've won 6, lost 5. Listen, it is absolutely down the middle as to who we are as a club. That's my only point. Brilliant win. Loved it. Amazing. I don't know what people want me to do. I've been here and seen it before. No. I don't know if they want me to dance around my bedroom and yeah. Right. We've won. Great win. I've seen us beat Man City before. We've all seen us beat Man City before under the last 4 managers. I now want to see consistency so that I can turn around and go, yes, this is somewhat back to the Poch days. That's
And
what I
that's
need
right.
to see.
Absolutely. And what makes it worse is that this team is capable. If this team is capable of beating the top clubs, then it's capable, more than capable, of beating the bottom clubs. Whereas if you look at the only minus for me, I love Pochettino as a manager, and I would have, I think he was waiting for Levy to give him a call before Chelsea called him. So Poch could have come back before, after Conte left, but Levy didn't want him. The only negative with Poch was if you look at the away results against top six in the last couple of years, the win ratio was really poor. It really wasn't very good. Wins like at City were like fairly rare. Arsenal, we haven't beaten away since 2010, etc., etc. So the only positive that I take out of the inconsistency is that unlike then, if we were beating the bottom clubs and losing to the top clubs, that you're some way away. But by beating the top clubs, we should be beating the bottom clubs. So it shows that we're a level above, which makes it more frustrating, makes it worse. And if he just changes the tactics back to the way he played against Villa, City, and City in the League Cup, where we played a lower line. If he plays that way, draws other teams on, because we're struggling against low blocks. Draw other teams on, create the space behind, will be much better.
And that's the difference. You look at all the games we failed to win this year. Ipswich, low block. Crystal Palace, low block. Leicester City, low block. Newcastle, low block. This is the thing.
Even Arsenal, right? Even Arsenal low blocked us.
Yes,
the only game we lost at football was Brighton, basically, right? They were the only team that actually put it on us, right?
Agreed.
Dominated us, right?
You're right.
Even in the first half, you can argue they low blocked us, right? Kind of, like not low blocked us, but they were playing more on the defensive, right?
Guys,
It's
I disagree with this a bit, guys. I disagree. By the way, can I get these super chats done because they've been sitting here for like 30 minutes. A user says, just wanted to say Matters played in his position. Defense did their job. Now for some consistency, please. Ange, keep the same team. No need to change. It's pretty much what the panel said.
Yeah.
A user again, thank you, says, we always struggle with teams who park the bus. True. And told you, get them tickets to Stringfellow. Very good, man. He came on Thursday and made the joke. Yeah, fair play to you. I disagree a bit with this, guys. I feel this team has got a soft underbelly. And that's the biggest problem. And that's on Ange. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. If a team goes 1 or 2 up, we look like we don't know what to do. Most cases. Ipswich took the lead. Newcastle took the lead. Brighton didn't. Arsenal took the lead. What other game did we lose?
Yeah, but Aston Villa also took the lead. West Ham took the lead.
Yeah. That's why. You're right.
Took the lead.
You're right. At home.
Yeah, at home.
At home. If Man City scored those early chances, we're not winning 4-0 for shit, in my opinion. But they didn't. So it doesn't matter. It's immaterial. But I just feel if a team comes at us and they take advantage of their play, it's then on Spurs to show us what have you got. And it's on the manager to adapt to that moment, whether it's to motivate the players, adapt his tactics, make a substitution. And that's when Ange gets so exposed. For me, we've got a manager when under the cosh, and that's where you make your money in this game. What do you do when the pressure comes and you're in that big moment? He has not proven anything to me. When it's all going our way, we're amazing. We'll smash West Ham, Everton, Fulham. Not Fulham, sorry, we haven't played them yet. Aston Villa, Man City. We will teach you a lesson. We will absolutely take you to task. But if you do that to us, and then the manager, earn your money, man. It's not gone to plan. This isn't what we trained in midweek. We got to do something. This is where Klopp, Pep, Mourinho, Ancelotti's, Wenger back in the day, that's where they made their money as elite managers.
Still, after the
can this guy do it? Because for me, he hasn't shown that. And that's why we're inconsistent. Whether we play Crystal Palace, Man City, Villa, Ipswich, Southampton, or Arsenal, it doesn't matter. Because in one of those games, if it doesn't go to plan, if it doesn't go the way we thought, this manager chokes. And that's why I don't get, like, I'm not hyped after this, because I want to see what happens if we go away to Southampton and for whatever reason, Southampton are running that game. I want to see what Ange does. And I know what the answer will be. We'll lose 2-1. We'll lose 2-1. Something
still, we've
if I say this, you're negative. This channel's
You're
toxic.
right.
No,
You're right.
I've been saying
You
this
are
from the
right.
start of the season. And so far, I've been right.
we struggle.
We
struggle when teams do to us what we did to Man City today.
Basically,
that's when we struggle, right?
Basically.
Today, we were defensively solid. There was no highlight. The first 15 minutes was iffy. After that, there was no high line. Dragusin, Davis, Porro, and Udogie were in a row. The two that sat in front, Maddison came in, made it a free. Kulu tucked in, Sonny tucked in, and we looked solid. Now, when teams do that to us, that's when we struggle. We don't struggle when Villa leave a gap. We don't struggle. We're clinical when we do that. When those teams, City, you know you're going to get chances. We were clinical. Villa, you know you're going to get chances. Clinical. The only anomaly to that, as Mikhail said, was Brighton. That was the anomaly, right? But even then, in the first half, we were very good and got in behind them and scored goals until they shut up against us in the second. For me, it's finding that balance. Wins like today are really important. Wins like against Villa are really important. Now we've got to go the next step and say, right, when a team like Ipswich comes to White Hart Lane, and I'll always call it that, I don't apologise for that. When teams come to White Hart Lane and they go, right, we're going to stick 3 massive centre-halves, 2 wing-backs and 3 holding midfielders, and they say, right, here's the ball, break us down, that's where we are not good enough. So again, against Villa, you can see the number of gaps they leave behind. We love that. City today, every time we got in behind them, looked dangerous. But we can't do what City couldn't do today to us. That's the difference. When there's no clear-cut chances, when it's a crowded penalty area, that's where the game changers, we need to add a few more. That's where we need to be more clinical, and that's where we need to mix it up in terms of maybe some higher balls into the box, whipping more high crosses in. That's not, again, people see that as negative. I'm having a go at Ange. I'm not, but that is where we struggle. They're the games where we struggle, and that's proven time and time again.
Can I just caveat on what I said, because there's people in the comments that are trying to argue my point. I'm specifically talking about away games because that's where the pressure is. At home, you've got 62,000 fans behind you. At 1-0, they get behind the team. However, the only team that's gone 2-0 up at White Hart Lane was who? Ipswich. What happened? We lost. We failed to deal with that scenario. So if we go 1-0 down at home, we've got it in us. Even last season, we went 1-0 down to an Eze Wonder strike. We came back and won it 3-1. We went 1-0 down to Sheffield United. We came back to win it 2-1. At home, if we go a goal down, you fancy us. 2, we're unproven. Away from home, you shit yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. No, the pressure's away from home when the home fans aren't there. And when we go 2-0 down at home, we've proven we can't come back.
Still, I think the interesting thing, can I just make one point? Ange said after the Ipswich defeat that he had to look at himself and maybe he'll look at making changes. Now, hopefully, that changes isn't about players, it's about systems and tactics. And we'll know more next week when he plays against Fulham. I fully expect a mix and match team against Roma on Thursday. I think now he's, we're 3 points off, we're 4 points off second place. So he'll look at that and he'll say, do you know what? We're in the mix with all the other clubs. Got to make sure that we keep pushing on in the league. And I think he will play, maybe make 4 or 5 changes possibly for Roma. And Roma aren't in the best of form. I think they've got shot of 2 managers now this season.
They sacked 2 or 3. Ranieri is the manager now. The guy that won the league. Right?
We need a good result Thursday, and that builds momentum.
If Roma are struggling, Dr. Tottenham will help them out.
Didn't we beat Aston Villa and a team in Europe 2 games in a row, and then we did 2 losses? I think, Ian, I stick to what I say. Until we go undefeated in the Premier League, 5 games, there is no consistency at all, in my view. I think that's
think-
a
With
fair
what you
promise.
said
Yes,
earlier, still,
you are making
I
the
agree
same
with
point.
what you said earlier in the
Sorry,
point
Michael, I'll come
of
to you. I'll come to you.
Yeah.
that
Go on,
as soon
go
as
on.
it's not going our way, and then it goes further into the game that we're still 1 or 2-0 down, that's when Ange freezes and doesn't do anything until make subs until 70, 75, 80 minutes. When everything's going in our favour, or we're still looking like we're a big part of the game, he gets the subs right. He does it right. He's standing there. He's involved. But when the pressure is truly on us, which I didn't think, yeah, we had pressure on us today, but I don't think there was at
We
any
went
time
2-0
we
up.
actually looked totally gazumped in there as such. Yeah, when the pressure does come on and the shit hits the fan, he is frozen in every game that it's happened to, basically. And it's getting out of those positions what get you further. It's all good being in a game when you're rolling and it's all going your way. But when it's going against you, you've then got to know how to adapt your game, to adapt to the game, to get something out the game.
I will never forget his comments after Brighton, and I'll come to you next, Michael. And this is why I will not get on board with this project until he proves otherwise. I didn't make the subs because we weren't dominating and we didn't deserve to win, so I'm not going to make the subs. Buddy, Sir Alex Ferguson won 13 titles, winning games he never deserved to do, because that's what you got to do to get results. And for him to say that, I thought, you're more about the way we play than the result. And there's certain games where it's not going to go to plan. That's life. You map out your wedding day, you map out your holiday, you map out what you can do in your career. Shit happens. You've got to pivot. And this guy's, no. It's not the vision I've got. All right, well then, do you know what? You're going to get stuck. And that's kind of what I feel with Ange. Yeah,
But
Michael,
Ian's
sorry,
right.
bro.
Yeah,
Let me
Ian's right.
let me just go to Michael quickly because he's been waiting. And I'll come
Sorry.
back to you.
No worries. Actually, I agree with everything you said, guys. Right? It's like I've been saying, and I think the last show that we did on one of the channels, right? I said that I just don't have faith that this guy will prove me wrong, right? Right now, I have an assumption of this guy that he doesn't adapt well enough to games, right? And if I am proven wrong, then I am willing to give this whole project or whatever a chance, however you want to call it, project. I'm willing to give this thing a chance, right? But until I'm proven otherwise, it's like, why? Scott, you said it yourself, right? What evidence do we have to believe that after today we will win against Fulham, right? There is no evidence, right? Even today, right? And I know many of you guys won't agree with me, right? But at like 3-0 up, 70th minute, I was still sitting in front of my TV shitting bricks because I was afraid we are going to somehow make a fool of ourselves, right? I am scarred by this club. You guys have to understand, I didn't experience Pochettino, right? I am scarred by this club. Ever since I started supporting, this is the type of game that we lose for free, right? This is how I see Tottenham, right? So until I am proven otherwise, I won't be super, all flowery and belief, right? And by the way, just one thing, because I don't know if you guys have seen this, but our Polish commentators said it, that apparently it's like the most congested league table since 2004 or something like that, I've heard. Because we talk a lot about positions, right? But
yeah, the guy said it earlier. 1 win, you go third. 1 loss, you go 10th.
Yeah, it's like between City and I think Brentford in 11th, it's like 6 points or 5 points or something like that, right? It's one of the most congested league tables, right? So just wanted to throw it out there, right? Because I would rather than focusing on the league table position, I would focus on the performances, right? Like you guys said, because I've seen a lot of narratives saying, oh, we are 13th or we are third or whatever, right? Like Ange said it himself before the game. He said if we won against Ipswich, we would have been third, yeah? But you would still be 3 points over 10th, right? So if we lost today after beating Ipswich, we would still be 10th, right? So it's I don't really put value to table position right now. That's how I see it.
By the way, Michael, I absolutely don't get used to this again, but I actually agree with you. And to be honest, you're not negative. The thing is, though, you're understanding what what we were saying. I mean, me and Sav have been saying, and what Stelios is saying. We need to see. I'm sorry to hear that that you're scarred by this, by Tottenham. You know what I mean? Because that's not very nice to have. You know what I mean? But But it's exactly what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I can't complain about the performance. You have to, and Sam is
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely right. You
Neither
have to
neither
say
can
it
I.
20 minutes. You have to say it all through the stream to actually make people actually understand you're
I
happy.
know it's mad.
It's stupidness.
Yeah,
You
it's
know
like
what I mean? And it's like, well, no, it's just because I've been here before, right? I need to see a lot, and this is what real people do. It's like, I'm sorry, it's gonna take a little bit longer. This is the sad thing. You can't be proved wrong, right? And let yourself be proved wrong before people want you to feel that you're happy. You know what I mean? It's so sad. You know what I mean? I didn't need to do this with Pochettino. I didn't need to do this with Villas-Boas of all people. You know what I mean? But with this manager, and this is why I can't stand him, because you get the engines just can't help themselves having a go, and it's
Yeah.
annoying. And
I just
that's
think
it.
we need to look. For me, I've said this all along. If I end up being wrong about Ange, good.
Yeah.
If I end up being wrong and my opinion is wrong about Ange, it means Spurs have been successful. Good.
That's what you want.
I'm just a YouTuber. I am a football fan that puts my face on a camera. What I don't like is how many people are wrong week in, week out, right? But because they're not on a camera, there's no accountability for it. I turned around today and said, I think we're going to lose. I haven't hidden from that. I said, I thought we'd lose 2-1, possibly 3-1.
Yeah,
Me
that's a
being
3-1
wrong
City.
means Spurs won. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. But people, where I get frustrated is all the people go, gutted. We're all meant to be bloody Spurs fans. And we're calling each other Arsenal fans and telling them, gutted, you won. I've had some guy message me tonight going, oh, well, you know, we'd be a lot closer to the top if your team didn't win 3-0 against Forest. It's like, what? My team? I've got a fucking Spurs YouTube channel, you donut. Look, I want to be wrong. You lot want to be wrong. For me to be wrong, for you guys to be wrong, for everybody else who's against us to be right, it's all about consistency. Right? It can't be that these people who are, you're all wrong. Apologies, please. Apologies for what? We lost to Palace and Ipswich in the last month. All right. We've beat Villa and City. It's still the same amount of points no matter what the team that you've beat. We've lost those two and we've won two. Consistency. I could keep saying this for love nor for I want to be able to enjoy these wins without being attacked every time we win.
To be fair, Seba, you're not just a YouTuber. You're actually a decent YouTuber. Don't do yourself down, fella. You're actually a good YouTube channel.
Can I ask a quick question for all the people that want the apologies? Because it does seem to come more from one side. I'm fine. I'll say it right now. I will gladly give out every apology. Why do they never come and apologize when they get it wrong? Why is it only that they need to receive apologies? Why do they never have apologies are so important to them, but they never come in and give, like, if they started coming in and say, hey, Sava, sorry, I got that one wrong, and we want to have a give and take, then maybe we can get onto this whole apology thing if it's important.
Scott,
it's so important to them that they just go.
I actually think, Scott, that if and when, and hopefully it's this season, you know, and everyone will turn around and say Ange does win a trophy in his second season. I think when Spurs win a trophy, I think the fan base will calm down. I think there's a certain amount of frustration.
Ian,
over 16 years, I think people are exceptionally frustrated. They're fed up with everything that's been going on. They're seeing all the other big five walk away with all the trophies, and Spurs are a big club. We're winning nothing.
I think that was true with if it was Conte or Poch or even Jose. I honestly think now, if Ange wins a trophy, and I think there's no chance he will, I think the people who are Angean will be so insufferable. They, as much as they accuse us of not enjoying the trophy, I think that they'll get more. Their focus will be so much more on coming in to channels like this, to Sava, to Dan, to Stell, saying, you are so wrong. Don't you, like, how many threats have you already got? Don't you dare enjoy this trophy if we win. Like, don't you dare enjoy this trophy. We
Well,
cannot enjoy the trophy if we
sure,
win.
sure.
I think it's going to split it just as much because I think there's so much. The Ange is the craziest thing ever. Because it's so much based on feelings, right? There's so much of that engine is based on so much emotions that I think that if we win a trophy under Ange, again, never will happen. It'll be so much. It'll almost be worse and more toxic because of all the people making sure that there's not a chance that Sava, Stel, Dan even think about being happy that we won that trophy because we're not allowed. We're not allowed to. We've been told many times. I mean, well,
We'll be celebrate. We'll be popping champagne if we win a trophy.
Listen,
you will. I
I-
mean, you're Ian. As much as we have back and forth between each other, you're not a fan that I group in with that. I don't think you're an unreasonable fan. I don't think you're nasty. I don't think you're mean the way that other things have happened. But there are fans out there that are different. There are fans out there that will not be happy.
Listen,
just
guys,
to celebrate it.
I need to say something here, right? Okay, because this is so nice and politically correct. They're assholes. They are fucking assholes. I don't care. I've never cared, and I'll never care. These are arse-wipes, scumbags. They sit there when we win, and this, you're negative. You can't see what we're building. He's been backed. Look at the signings. We lose. Levy out. Ange wasn't backed. Ange never got the support. It's not fair to blame the manager. When we win, where are these clowns? Suleiman, AT, Renegades, Brett, you cowards. Arse-wipes the lot of you. I couldn't care if you don't watch this channel again. You go missing when we lose. You're not here against Ipswich, Palace, Nuke. You all go missing. You shit the bed. I got told last week, I was telling you, give Ricky Sacks a break. Give him a break. He's saying Enoch out, Levy out. Go watch tonight. Nothing about Levy. Nothing about Ange not being backed. Where is this? And this goes back to what Sava said earlier. What are you? You can't have your whole cake and to eat it and to flip-flop. Either you think this manager's been backed, then back your manager through thick and thin. Don't only turn up when it's good. Or he hasn't been backed, and then you consistently say these players aren't good enough. Don't blame Ange. But that's not what's happening. And then those of us who have been consistent, we get the pelters. Fuck that. You're all assholes. I don't care. You can report my channel. I really don't care, man. Because every time we win, we go through this. Every time we win, if we dare say, can we see some consistency? Can we win at least 4 or 5 games in the Premier League without losing? Can you show us the same tactics every week instead of highline this one, that one? Stick to what works, right? If we say this, we're the devil's work. But these arse-wipes go missing when it doesn't work.
Yeah, but still, look at it like this. Look at it in a different way.
Week. Win, lose or draw, we turn up. We turn up.
Look at it in a different way. Open your eyes a sec. Look at it in a different way. Let's be positive about this. I really don't care. Right. The positive side of this is, for me, is when people are like that. I like it when people are like that. I enjoy it when people get like that. Why? Because it shows you've rattled them. Why? Because they're that rattled about what you're saying that they feel they have to pounce on you for one fucking result because you got the past, 5 years right. It shows that they're listening and they're fighting it by jumping in with one little thing. People think we want Spurs to lose. We don't. We want Spurs to win. It's just we won't sit here and kiss ass and saying everything's cushy when it bloody ain't. So I like it when people do that because it's just blatantly showing how rattled some people are that they literally have to pounce over just one bloody game.
These fans say, these arse-swipes, right? They say we don't support Spurs. But yet when we lose, we turn up. They don't. Who's the real fan? The cowards?
That's what I'm basically saying. They will only pounce for one thing because...
I think we just need fans. I think we just need a lot of fans to be real. I think this week, more than any other week, Pochettino was sacked 5 years ago this week on Thursday. I think it was Thursday, wasn't it? I think Mourinho took over on the Thursday before the West Ham game. Okay. 5 years. And look where the club have gone from 5 years ago to now. So let's just be realistic. The team that Poch had 6-7 years ago, different to the team that he got sacked with. The team he had 7 years ago to compared to the team he had now were much better. As fans, listen, that was the only time in my lifetime that I've had a team that were up there challenging 2 years running. I've never seen that. We finished third in 71. We finished third in 85. We finished third in 91. But it was like, there's 3 in 21 seasons. With Poch, it was 2 years running. We had a third, then a second, then a third, 3 years. So when you look at it, let's just be realistic. Let's just see how far we've dropped as a club. Poch took us to heights that I hadn't seen since I've been following the team, because unfortunately I was too young to see the double team. And this is where we are as a club. So
I don't believe that.
It's just about being realistic. No, 60, unfortunately 65.
You were there. You were an 18-year-old in the stands for the 61 team, weren't you, Ian?
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen John White. He was meant to be some player. But let's just be real about where we are as a club.
I think
positivity. I'm going to try and bring some positivity.
Today's a good day.
Today was an excellent day.
Yeah.
When I watch games like today, I look and think to myself, can we win a trophy? Like there's those moments in me where I go, if we play like that, if we rock up to a quarter-final of a Europa League or a FA Cup semi-final and play like that, yes.
I don't know about Europa League. A Carabao Cup, possibly.
Yeah, whatever the competition, right?
That's not the point of what competition. It's not the point. I'm trying to say something positive, right?
Just give an example.
My point
stop being toxic, Alex.
Yeah, Alex. Come on.
Always have a go at the box office. Anyway,
when I see that, when I see the second half be Villa, when I see the majority of that Man United game, and you go, you know what? Yeah, this works. Yeah, this is good. The problem is my brain doesn't decompartmentalize, right? It groups it all together. And what I mean by that is my brain that goes, yeah, that was amazing today, is the same brain and the same eyes that are going, but Jesus, if the Ipswich version of us turns up, we haven't got a chance. And that's why my heart as a Spurs fan says, we're going to play like that every bloody week and we're going to win trophies. But my head knows that's not true. Now, you only have to look at the league table. And again, that's not negative. The league table is the factual truth of everything every fan says. And it will show 6 wins, 5 defeats and a draw. That, for me, shows you rather than when I see that, when I see performances like today are the norm, when we start doing that every week, I'm not saying you have to win every game 4-0, but when you see performances like that are the norm and you go to multiple hard away games and thrash out a 1-0, or you're 1-0 down and you get a last minute draw, then I go, well, why can't we win a trophy? But at the moment, for me, it's just a little too erratic and the number of defeats suggests that. But I'm not going to take away from how bloody good today was. Right? Exactly. I can't sit on a panel show for an hour and a half, 2 hours going, we're amazing.
Just glazing the result, right?
It's not like, football chat. Sorry. I'll shut up. Sorry.
All of you guys and all the crowd in the chat, right? You all watch North London News Hours, right? And you know who Stefan is, right? And whenever we argue with Stefan, it's like, you are a fucking Spurs fan. Why are you talking about trophies, right? The only thing each and every one of us wants is to sit at the end of the season with a trophy in the cabinet, drinking pina colada with our fucking sunglasses, telling Stefan to shut the fuck up, right? And sorry, Stefan, to shout you out like that, right? But it's facts. It's basically this, right? And that's the only thing I want, right? I want us to win something, right? And maybe the path that I see, or Sava sees, or Stereo sees, to getting to that point is a bit different than yours, right? Like, guys, Manchester United have a new manager, right? And all I see is their fans saying, bring Tottenham. We have fucking Tottenham in the quarterfinal. We will smash them. All I want to say is, shut the fuck up. We are smashing you, right? But I cannot say it with confidence, right? Because I see this team going to City away, winning 4-0 at City away. Last time they lost at home 4-0 was 2001, right? That was the last time they lost 4-0 at home. The last time they lost 4-0 under Pep Guardiola was in his first season against Everton, right? He lost twice 4-0, right? One of those times happened today, right? But even after that, I cannot say with confidence that we are going to smash United in the Carabao Cup, right? Because I see Ipswich
No consistency.
2 weeks before. Yeah, 2 weeks before, I see us getting smashed by Ipswich, and it's not even like we were unlucky or something, right? Ipswich fully deserved to win that game. All we want to see, every single person that was here today, that left, that will come on probably, all we want to see is consistency, and all we want to be is like confident in our team and say, we are smashing this, we are smashing that, we are winning against you, we are winning against you, this is our target, I want this trophy, I want this trophy, this is what we want, right? And I don't understand what brain process works in some of those people's heads where they think that we don't want our team to win. We are all football fans. We are like it's tribal. Like I don't understand it. How can you accuse someone of not supporting their team? Right? It's like it's mind-boggling to me. Like the way we support is a bit different to you guys, right? But we all strive for the same.
Want us to all support the same, Macau.
Michael,
To all support
Everybody
the same.
sees it
So if
different.
I'm not kissing Angie's ass,
Yeah,
what it
it's
means
like-
is you're not a real fan, Sovereign. It's like, no, I've just got a difference of opinion, and for the last 20 years, it's not been that wrong. Do you know what I mean? I would love to be wrong this year, but
Michael,
somebody
exactly
called
right.
it. None of these people in the chat that are ever wrong will say it. I'll say it. I was wrong today. I'm not the first football fan to predict a wrong result. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
Everybody
if
on
we
their
all
actors every
predicted
week
right
is
results,
wrong.
we'd be bloody rich, wouldn't we?
Absolutely, you're
The
right.
thing that goes with it is just people look at things different. And the way I look at it, I agree with what you said, Sava, on the one of like, right, we've just won a game 4-0, totally smashed City. I'm going to live it and enjoy it. But to me, that game's already sort of over there.
Exactly.
Why? Because it's done and dusted.
Exactly.
I'm already looking over there.
That's exactly
Like,
what
I
I'm
personally
thinking.
believe a manager should be doing at a club. Right,
Yep.
well done. I got this right. Take my lesson off of it, put it aside, already look over to the next one. That's just the way I do it. If someone
That's
wants
exactly
to live
why.
on, if someone wants to live on it for the next 6 months, even if we get cooked by Ipswich, Fulham's, Palace, and everything, good luck to them. Let them do it. But I can't do it like that. I'm already looking ahead for the next game. Why do I look ahead for the next game so much and just think, oh my God, we got Southampton or we got Fulham or we got whatever? Because out of consistency, I see Spurs go and do something like this and then go and get done by Ipswich consistently. Yeah. I'm already looking for the next game. We've done this one. Brilliant. Talk about it. Okay. But I want to look at what's coming next now. That's the future. You can't live on the past.
That's exactly
Dan,
what I'm saying.
Can you address a comment for me, Dan? I don't want to do it because it sounds like I ran.
What time is it? I'll bring it up.
Hector Rico at 11:19. I'm not having a go at him, right? I'm not having a go at him. He told me he wanted to stop watching me at some point. That's fine. But look at this. Again, this is what I mean. We acknowledge all of this, but what has this completely left out?
We lost against
what I just said. Okay.
That's so Ipswich.
He
the
basically missed out the parts that I just said. He has missed out the main parts in the middle of what I just said. And that is the consistency of Tottenham Hotspur. What happened after we beat Villa?
We lost.
Who to?
I think Crystal Palace.
No, Ipswich.
What happened after we done City? What happened after we done Man United?
Yeah, we lost.
What happened after we done Man United?
Lost to Palace, right?
There's a consistency in all of this. So, mate, you can go and pick out these wins. Yeah, brilliant. But then I can turn around and say, I'm still not going to bet my life on the next game because of how inconsistent we are. Now, when I see us playing games where, let's say, we get into a habit of winning 3, losing 1, drawing 1, then maybe I'll be a bit more heavier on what I'll bet on it. But at the moment, I need to see some consistency now, not just win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. I need to see us be more consistent now. And that's all people are asking for.
Dan.
But with what he's put there, the consistent fact is we go and do this, and then we'll go and lose against Southampton. or we go and lose again. Who we got next? He's Southampton, isn't it?
Right,
But
right,
Dan, that's
Fulham.
exactly what I'm saying.
Fulham next.
Dan, that's
Fulham.
exactly what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Dan,
Fulham,
exactly
yeah,
what
I
you're
knew something
saying.
like
That I'm looking for the next game. I'm looking for the next game, like I said, because I forget it very quickly. Because I think, well, I need to see it next game, and that's it for me. For me, at the moment, these people show me what they are like, as far as I'm concerned. I just ignore them now. I was on another show earlier, and you know what show I was on. I'm not going to say it, but I was told that I was very miserable because I've got a loud voice. And I fought him for this because I sat there and said, no, you're targeting me because I'm very expressive about why I am, and that's it. And I felt that was very, very. I can't say the word, but it was to a point where I was like, no, that's taking the mick now.
Either way, we can
You
only
know what I mean?
big
But
up
it's
today
like when,
so much.
you
And
can't.
then we got to look for the next game.
Exactly. Yeah, but the point is though, Dan, it's like you can't be expressed. You can't. You're picked on because you're expressive in a certain way. We're all picked on in certain ways because we're not looking like we're like any other fan, and that's it. And for me, right, this is where I don't respect certain fans. That's why I don't listen to them. I just shut off from them because I've talked to people like Esmatic. I speak to people like Kuva, yeah, and they don't agree with me. And I can have a football conversation with these people. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, well, at least we can have a football conversation, even though you don't agree with me, and that's it. So it's like this is where I absolutely agree with you, and this is where the fan base is just you don't get it, and that's it. But this is what social media is like, and that's it for me, and this is what I'm gonna revel in. You know what I mean? Because this is what
the
fills me
reason
up even
is,
more.
and that's the last I want to say at this. The reason is, mate, is because it's like everything else. It's too political.
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
that. But either way, I just want to go back to the game today, and we done well. And what's going to happen in the next game? So forget those bricks.
We haven't even spoken about what a goalkeeper we had today, eh?
He had a brilliant game.
Thank you, Ian. I've been waiting for the Vicario love to come.
How superb was Vicario today?
I thought it was very apt that was probably one of his best performances, particularly from set pieces against the very team that exposed his set pieces frailties for the first time.
He was taking corners out the air, wasn't he? Terrific.
Mm-hmm. He was.
Terrific.
Especially after the way he played for Italy.
He got laid last night.
The 2 goals
he
were
was
not
on
down
one.
to him.
Much like our team, it's disappointing that we don't. Yeah, there's no reason to think that Vicario is going to take on a good performance next week because he doesn't have that level.
Sorry, Scott, he's the best shot stopper in the division. There's no one better.
Do you know what, Scott?
He's one of.
Do you know what,
Alisson
Scott? When everyone was talking about, like, you know, the Spurs not being able to trust them because it's a great performance today, what we're saying is we can't trust Spurs to go out and put a good performance. Scott, you're spot on there because Vicario is a microcosm of that issue because he's a brilliant shot stopper. He's a brilliant goalkeeper at times, but it's that consistency, right, that we're asking for. And today he was very, very good at everything he needed to do. But can we trust him to then go be good at defending set pieces?
I'm going to ask you a question.
Probably not.
I'm going to ask you a question, David. Since Vicario joined, name me one goal that he's been at fault for. Name me one.
That Crystal Palace goal when he started off with a terrible pass.
No, he didn't. No,
yes, he did. It was a terrible pass.
He gave it to Romero. Bissouma, no. Bissouma didn't make the angle for Romero.
There can be more than one person at fault, right?
Wrong.
Nope.
Instead of going down the line by Romero, he put it across to Mickey because Mickey was the only option. Van der Ven lost concentration.
He doesn't have to. He could kick it.
He lost concentration. He lost the ball. The ball came across, and then it found its way to the centre forward who scored. We had plenty of time to drop back, fill in the gaps. I'm sorry, Vicario played it to Romero. That's how they play, Scott. Bissouma didn't show for him. Hang on. Porro didn't show for him. So the only player who was on was Van der Ven. Now, Van der Ven should have controlled that ball. He should have controlled it. Don't blame Vicario for passing to Romero. Van der Ven lost him if he makes a bad. And then we lost our man. So that was nothing to do with Vicario. Name me one shot that spilled under his body, that's gone through him, you know, that he should have got to. There hasn't been one since he joined. Not one.
Yeah, like absolutely glaring mistakes, but set set pieces, he should have done a lot better in a lot of goals we conceded from set pieces where he's been bullied out or he's not comfortable.
Well, I must say, there seems to be one rule for Spurs and one rule for the other clubs.
No. Listen, I love Vicario, by the way. I love him. I think he's a brilliant shot stopper.
He's not perfect. He's not perfect, and he's flapped at some crosses this season that he should have punched clear.
I will die on a hill that he's a better goalkeeper than Lloris as well.
Oh.
But if you look around,
wait a minute.
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure.
Wait a minute.
I'm with Dave on that one.
Wait a minute.
Lloris should have gone 3 years before we got rid of him. In the last 3 years, I disagree. In the last 3 years we had Lloris. He was one of the worst.
Don't be toxic, guys.
No, but that's why I'm asking which Lloris, right? Because if we talk about his beginnings, right, the first 3 years, not really, right? But the last 3 years of Lloris was shocking for solid.
We got a point there, but I think
right?
we have to see a better time. You know what I mean? Because
I think Vicario is a better shot stopper than Lloris ever was. A better shot stopper. I'm not saying a better overall keeper, but I think he's a better shot stopper than Lloris ever was. Because Lloris couldn't get to some Vicario can get to.
Lloris, the World Cup goalkeeper, got affected because he got given a watch at the final of the Champions League. That's how mentally strong that man is.
You're trying to stir it up now, aren't you? You're trying to be little.
He didn't get
mischief,
affected.
aren't
He
you?
realized.
I was trying to be positive. I was trying to pick up Vicario.
You're trying it. Cheeky.
Best I've seen him play. Best I've seen him play. Let's be fair. His save, and I've been very critical of this guy. I'll continue to be because again, one swallow doesn't make a. What is it? What's that saying?
One swallow doesn't make a summer.
Yeah.
There we. That's very profound. Yeah, they don't teach that to us in South London. Yeah, one knife doesn't make a murder. That's our motto over in South London. But
no, it just usually makes that.
I've been very critical. I've been very critical of him, right? But that save at 0-0, Erling Haaland, first half, low down with his foot, that goes in, we've got a different game, right? Yeah. And let's be fair, Haaland today could have had a lot of goals. But that moment, that one moment for me was the moment where you went, this might be our day. You know what I mean? Like Haaland's 8 yards out, it's going in, it's nestling in the bottom corner, gets the big foot to it. And then I thought he was brilliant second half. And again, that's what I mean. Like when we said earlier about this, and we were excellent today, but you know, we can acknowledge as well, the Man City had a very bad day in front of goal. The number of shots that ballooned over the bar, straight at the keeper. But Vicario, take nothing away from him. I thought he was very good today. But again, he's another one where sometimes I watch him and I go, oh, look at that. Other times I watch him and I go, why did we sign him? And in some ways, it kind of encapsulates Tottenham Hotspur. It is up and down, but today he was magnificent, as were.
On the side with that, as a shot stopper, Sava, I think he is pretty much spot on every game. I have not seen a game where he has actually scared me with his shot.
Most keepers are, though, right?
Been worried. Not to quite the same standards.
As Roy Keane would say, that's his job.
That's his job, yeah.
But if I'm going to be honest, I don't even think Vicario made the save of the game. I think the save of the game came from Edison when Kulusevski had it and he came down and managed to save it with one hand. I think that was the save of the game.
I'm not
saying he was the better keeper.
What about
Son's
strike?
That for me wasn't so much of a quality save. That was more of he read that well, and he had time to do it. The one where he managed to get down to his side. No, I'm not saying that. I was just saying what I thought was the save of the game. I wasn't countering what you said. The only point I'll make with what you said is that I think he's a bit more consistent as a shot stopper. As an overall keeper, he's a bit flappy. I mean, there has been many a time where he comes out for the free kick and I'm like, if he was this consistent as on set pieces, then why did the teams focus on him with the set pieces so much? If he was that good and consistent on it.
You know, Dan, we've let in 2 goals from corners all season.
That's not the question I asked you.
I asked you. That shows an improvement.
But I
We
didn't
let him-
ask you that.
Improvement by
Ian,
him or
don't
by the
divert it.
defenders clearing the
I
balls?
asked
Like,
you the
whole
question.
thing, whole thing
I
stopped.
asked everyone the question: why, if he is so solid overall and very consistent shot stopper, which he is, and very consistent on set pieces, like people say, why do they focus on him so much then? Just like other teams double up on Archie Gray down the side. Why?
Well, if you
They
look
didn't
at,
until Pep Guardiola's Man City did last season. He didn't have a problem. They found something that no one else saw, and it exposed him. And then from that point forward, every other club done the same, and he hasn't dealt with it well.
Yeah.
Well,
So why do they
I guess
focus
because
on it
Pep
then?
Guardiola's considered one of the best coaches. He's got a lot of the best analysts, no doubt, and he probably saw a little weakness that no one else had exposed it, and every other club since then has tried doing the same thing. And to be fair to him, a lot of the time it's worked because Vicario has struggled. He's not been strong enough. We've had this debate before. He needs to come out and make that 6-yard box his own, go through players, whether it's his own or the opposition. But today, going back to my point, that was the best I've seen him defending set pieces, and it was very apt that he done it against the club that exposed him in the first place.
But maybe because he doesn't have to use his feet a lot of the time today. That's why he wasn't really doing it that much.
did
Maybe
what
because
he's
he's
good
just
at.
That's a different point.
No. But I'm just making that, adding the point. I'm trying to be the devil's advocate, like you say. Like you're trying to be David. The point is that maybe because he's not using his feet a lot of the time, not having to,
That's the wrong devil's advocate, mate. You have not devil's advocated David's point.
Oh, I know. I'm trying to just, you know what I mean.
You're being a fisherman.
You're spoiling my moment here, Sam. You're spoiling my moment here.
Sorry, mate, I'm trying to. Why can't he catch the ball? I think it was his feet. No.
It's just at the end of the day, we all know Vicario is a quality shot stopper, one of the top 3 in the Premiership, in my opinion. Yeah, he's not the best, not a chance in hell. But when it comes to an all-round keeper, because being a keeper these days isn't just about shot stopping. If you want to be an old school goalkeeper, he'd be excellent as an old school goalkeeper. Stay on your bloody line and stop the bloody goal. That's all they had to do. These days, you've got to be able to control the ball with your feet, pass the ball, long range passing, short range passing, come off your line and everything. When you start adding it all up together, Raya, in my opinion, is an overall better goalkeeper than Vicario. But when you want to go to shot stopping, for me, I think there's possibly only one better in the Premiership. But if you want to put it as an all-round keeper, there's still a lot of improvement that he can make.
Agreed.
Do we agree or disagree on that?
Agreed.
No, I agree. I was just trying to be positive.
Oh, I hate that
How
word.
dare you?
Positive isn't always good,
How
Dave.
dare you?
How dare you?
I just think I don't think he doesn't need to. When he doesn't need to use his feet, I think he's a very good goalkeeper. You know what I mean?
I've seen
When
him
he
use his feet and stop shots enough times, though. Like go
no,
down
no,
and
when
save
he's
think-
playing out from the back,
I-
playing out from the
yeah.
back.
Got you.
That's what
Sorry, I
mean.
misunderstood.
Yeah, no, making saves, I think he's a very good goalkeeper. But when he's playing out from the back, I think when he's doing that, I think he struggles doing that. But it's not for every goalkeeper. You see what I'm saying? So, but he's a
something
good
else-
goalkeeper.
Yeah.
That someone just said on here, C-Max, 23-34. Vicario finally kicked the ball up the field as well, not past it 2 metres. And he looked a lot more comfortable for doing it as well. He didn't look like he was half panicking as soon as he passed it. And that's the pressure that Tottenham
It was one of those games
put on him.
It was one, yeah, exactly. It was one of those games with playing an opposition that made them go to their default mode. You know, what they've been trained to do as defenders growing up. Exactly. They were forced to do what their instincts would tell them to do, which was defend the old school way.
Do you know what? He's had a very strange week, Vicario, because I watched Italy France. He was honestly horrendous. Like
he was terrible.
Like, horrendous. Then you see today, and it's like, again, he's another one where you go, that's a Spurs footballer right there. Brilliant. Shit. Like there's never you can't look at any players in our team and go, that is a solid 7.5, 8 out of 10 every week. You know what I mean? But listen, today he was very good. He was very good at everything.
He had an excellent game.
Normally, I think when he comes for the crosses, and again, when we say this is the problem when we go so detailed on stats. So like when Lubo, when you say, oh, we've only conceded from 2 set pieces, that doesn't mean there's not been multiple set pieces where he's flapped at it. Defenders have cleared it. There's been a melee in the box. I just think he's a good keeper. For me, I don't think he's special. I don't think he's one of the best in the league. I think he's a good goalkeeper, but can he get better? Sure, why not? But I think there's a lot of things that he needs to work on for that to happen. I don't look at him. I think in the first 5-6 years when we had Lloris, I felt very calm with Hugo Lloris in goal.
Phenomenal
Yes, we
keeper.
kept him for about
Great.
3 years too long. But this guy, again, as I said, this guy is either brilliant or I think he's flapping. But today was brilliant. Today I thought he was absolutely superb. And please, can we give more credit to Dragoshin and Davis? I thought they were absolutely superb. And that was everybody's fallback argument if we lost today was, yeah, but Van de Ven and Romero were out. And I thought...
To be fair, playing devil's advocate to Alex, I thought Ben Davis was brilliant with his hands today.
Yeah, but Sava, this is why I said I've already given credit because I said to them, like, when Romero's fit or Van de Ven's fit, I don't want them back in the team. I said, I'm sorry, this is a fantastic performance. They stay in the team until they come in and prove their worth and saying, no, okay, you got to fight for your place now because this is the centre back pairing I want to see now because they deserve it. They deserve it. I'm sorry. You know what I mean?
Today we played the way that suited Dragusin.
Exactly.
This is how he played in Italy.
Exactly.
This is why we got him. And he is very good at that. But as a ball-playing defender of what Ange usually does, that is not Dragusin's style. Dragusin is an old-school defender that likes to stand there and block it with his life, not one that has to do all the other jobs that come with it.
Dan, for the first goal, he played Kulu in with a 50-yard ball.
Yeah.
Dragusin. He's in his locker.
Yeah, but long ball, and
it doesn't mean he run up. It doesn't mean he run up the pitch with a ball to the halfway line and past it, does it?
No, but he can hit those long balls. That's the first one from him.
I know he can. It's just when he played in Italy, he played as a centre back through and through, not a ball playing defender.
What did Dragusin and Ben Davies do against Galatasaray?
Play a high line and get
but they're playing a high line though. And listen. Okay, that's a fair point, Stelios. But at the same time, they've had some good performances in recent times, though. Let's be honest here.
Ben Davies does this every season. He has 3 or 4 games in a row.
I know. But the thing is, though, the point I'm making.
Shit, and then we say, do you know what? We should play him. He's
no, Stelios. No.
He is why we've won nothing in 10 years. The fact he's at this club. He does this. He'll go on a good game. They will say 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 8 out of 10, and then he'll shit the bed, cost us a game, and everyone will be like, "Why is he?"
Can we praise the player? Can we praise the player still? Is it allowed or like no?
But still, that's not the point we're making.
You can say what you want. I'm just saying what I think.
But still, that's not the point we're making, though. That's not the point we're making. He's in the squad. He plays well, right? Romero's not been playing well recently. Like everybody's been saying, he's not been good this season, right? So when Romero's fit, right? I don't want him back in the team. He needs to compete for his place now. That's a competitive squad because now we have Davis in the squad. We can't just say, "Oh, well, Davis does." Yeah. Well, that's why we should have sold him. That's why we should have got a defender in. That's it.
Alex,
he's in the squad.
If you'd have played Romero,
I think Mari's in an airport. He's got to speak before something cuts off.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to say, great victory, celebrated. I've already seen the happy clappers go way overboard. Just enjoy the victory tonight, celebrate, and then it's just, you know how we are. We could lose to Fulham. We could definitely lose to Bournemouth. So it's just keeping things in perspective and don't exaggerate. I'm seeing on X people going nuts. And I'm like, you do know we lost to Ipswich the last game. So it's just enjoy the victory tonight, and that's it. And then we move on. So come on, you Spurs. I got to catch my flight to Costa Rica. I'm out.
See you later, mate.
See ya.
That's
That's proper happy clapping. That is going to Colombia to celebrate a win against Man City.
Costa Rica, not Colombia. I think it was right.
Yeah. He's in Colombia at the moment.
Again, I think with Dragusin, you will see, like I've said about nearly every player we've got there, play them to what they're good at. We've got some good players there. Dragusin is a good centre back.
Dan,
The other thing also, guys.
Wait, Ian. Let me. I need to say this, right? I want to expand on this point you made, Dan, right? We not only to Dragusin and Davies, but I think overall today we played to the strengths of the players we had in the team. Not only those two, but we played to the strengths of the wingbacks because they were
Not
out wide.
inverting them.
Yeah, we play to the strength of Bissouma and Sar because they are not the most technical players ever, but they are good at taking the ball off you and pressing. We gave Maddison space. We like all of you. I really want to highlight this, right? Because I've been saying I want to see those players play the way they should be playing, right? I want to see those players in places where they need to be, where they should be, right? And today I saw that, and I just hope that we see it more from now on, right? Because, like, seriously, I think the job that Sar and Bissouma today did on Ilkay Gundogan and Rico Lewis, the way they pressed them, I like as soon as one of them got the ball, Bissouma or Sar were near them, like just putting physical pressure on them, right? And I absolutely enjoy
Michael,
that.
Gundogan's been shit all season. If I'm going to be really honest,
I don't care, mate. I don't care if he was shit or not, right?
I
did
do
what we were supposed.
No,
but we did what we were supposed to do.
Praising a player for outmarking a crap player.
Yeah, but I think
Gunderson is not crap.
I keep hearing
this season. He's been crap.
Season.
He's not been good this season.
When Man City won their first 7 league games or whatever it was, everyone was raving about how good they were. They looked brilliant. I watched games where Gundogan looked brilliant. He came in. He was setting up all the play. His passing was good. But this is what we do in football. Like Man City are having a very difficult spell at the moment.
Yeah.
And straight away, as football fans, the answer is all these players who were brilliant when they were winning 7 in a row they're crap, he's shit, he's rubbish, he needs to be sold, he's too old.
No, I'm saying Gundogan this season for me has not been good. The games I've watched, I think Bernardo Silva's been below. Sava, in general, I think Bernardo Silva's way below par as well as a season in a whole. I don't think them two have been that great this season.
Sure, but even today there were times where Bernardo Silva and Gundogan were playing some lovely through balls for the likes of Haaland, for the likes of Savio to get on. They had most of the football today. It depends what we want from a player, but these players overnight don't turn shit. And this is why when people go they've been shit.
No, I'm not saying they're shit. I don't think they've been good this season.
Sure, but when Man City were top of the league and had won 7 out of 7, no one was mentioning it. I think it was 1-6 and drew 1 or whatever it was.
Because we never played them then, innit?
No, I understand that, but no one in general mentions it. And I see people coming on going, "Oh, Gundogan's gone." Gundogan did some very nice things in that game today, but you've got to remember, players like Gundogan and Silva have so much of the football that we expect them to do something every time they get it. A lot of their game is about keeping the ball ticking over, passing left to right, finding the gaps, finding the holes. They can't do something brilliant every moment they've got the football. They're not a reactive team. They're a proactive team that have the football, keep the ball moving. I'm not saying they've been amazing, but this is what we do. This is what we do. When Man City go on a run at some point and win 10 in a row, 15 in a row, and you know they will at some point, everyone would go, "Oh my God, look how good he is. Look how good." I just think you've got to remember as well, Gundogan doesn't want to be playing in that deep lying midfielder role that he's playing today. He don't want to be in there playing that position. Gundogan wants to be up the pitch affecting the game. So I just feel we go a little bit over the top about our players. We did this with Virgil van Dijk, not us. I mean, the general we as football fans. Virgil van Dijk, remember, he's gone. He's finished. No, he hasn't. He had a little bit of a bad spell, and now he's back to being the best defender in the league.
Good players find a way to sort themselves out. Good players, players know how to do it. I was on the show earlier. People having a go at some of the Manchester City players, and I was sitting there thinking, I don't feel as a Spurs fan I can have a go at someone like Gundogan that's won trophies galore at Man City.
Everything. He's won everything.
What I mean? I can't, and then I'll say, well, I want him in my team. I want him in my team now.
Would you say no to having him in your midfield?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Which
Because I'd be
player?
stupid.
Which player?
Gundogan.
I don't. The way he's playing this season, I wouldn't have him. No, I wouldn't.
Oh, come off it. Have a day off.
Sorry,
He
Stel,
walks
I ain't
into
having
our
that, mate.
I know. Opinions can get a little bit spicy. I've watched him this season. I do not rate Gundogan this season. The Gundogan I saw at Barcelona last year, not bad. The Gundogan at Man City before in Barca, phenomenal. The Gundogan I've seen this season,
brilliant when they were winning 7 in a row.
Average. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. I've said that as well. My argument. No, he wasn't. No, you think that. I don't. I don't think
he might not have been as good as he can be.
I think Gundogan is part of the problem at Man City right now. While they're in the right, he's part of the issue. I don't rate him.
But he's still better than anything we got in the middle.
Exactly.
I'd take Maddison and Kulu. I'd take Maddison and Kulu in that role over him this season.
No, I wouldn't. I'm sorry.
I would 100%.
This is where we go crazy. We go crazy.
No,
Hold on. Why is it crazy? I've slagged off Ange more than most channels this season. I've criticised so many players at Spurs. If you're going to say to me, pick Gundogan or Madders or Gundogan or Kulu this season, not in their career, this season, I'm taking Kulu and Maddison. Unpopular opinion, I would. I think they've been better.
Not the same player as Kulu and Maddison. I don't know how they
play. Where does Gundogan play?
Wherever he wants to play. Like,
where does he normally play? Where does he normally play?
I think
he doesn't normally play anywhere. Man City float players about for fun.
Okay. Where would you play him at Spurs? As a 10 or an 8?
Anywhere he wants to play because he's better than our midfield.
Can we just answer the question? Someone else answer. Where would you play Gundogan, in the 8 or the 10?
I play him as a bit of a box-to-box, personally. Bit of a box-to-box deep line playmaker like we do with Bentancur.
Yeah.
Okay, this season then, as a box-to-box, the one who's got the legs to do it, I think Sar's done better this season. I thought Sar was one of our best players today. One of our best players
because he's young. He's got young and got energy.
They're not.
I'm not comparing age. I don't care about the age. We're talking about this season. Who I think's better? I would take Sar. I would.
I don't rate Gundogan this season. They don't do the same thing. Sar and Gundogan are not the same footballer at all. Sar is a runner with the ball. Gundogan is a give me the ball. I will make things tick.
Is that not box to box?
Yeah, but Gundogan's not a box-to-box, is he?
That's what Dan said.
I think he's a bit of... No, I think he's a bit of a mix. He is a bit of a box-to-box because he does defend, but he does go forward, but he doesn't bring it double high. That's why I call him a bit of a box-to-box / playmaker. Like you can have a defensive midfield, deep-lying playmaker at the same time. Bentancur, there's our man. When we play in box-to-box, we also use him as a bit of a deep-lying playmaker. When he plays as a DM, when he always did, he always played a bit of a playmaker. If I had to relate him to any sort of style of play, I would relate him to Bentancur's style of play. Sar, no, he's one to get the ball and go shoot up with it, basically. Gundogan, he's always been one to sort of keep his area, but keep things rolling, I'd say.
I think it's a bit of an irrelevant debate anyway, because we're re-signing Harry Winks for 42 mil, so that's that problem.
I'd take Gundogan over Harry Winks. 100%. I'd take
Gundogan. By the way, guys, my point wasn't about like whether you rate Gundogan or not, right? My point was about how we tactically set up to pressure their midfield when they were receiving the ball. This was my point, not about who we pressured. My point was that we actually adapted to the way they played and punished them for having played deficiencies in that part, right? Because if it was Rodri and Kovacic, we couldn't do that, right? But we saw that as a weak spot, and we actually pressured them and took the ball off them on multiple occasions, right? This is the point I wanted to make, right? I actually enjoyed us today pointing out the weak spot of the opposition team and punishing them for that weak spot, right? Not just playing our, gung-ho bullshit, right? That we play most of the time, right? We actually...
Can I make some points? Can I make some points here? Number one, I agree with Stel, definitely. I would take Kulu over Gundogan this season. Absolutely no question. I look on Gundogan, terrific player. I think he's dropped the level the same way Sonny has dropped the level to where Sonny was.
I think
that's how I look on him. And I want to drift back a few minutes to what Dan was saying about, we were talking about Dragusin, and I think you saw how many headers he won today. And I think that's what a centre-half should be doing in the air. And that's, Vicario doesn't get that protection from Romero in the air.
Because they can't. Because that's their weakest spot.
He doesn't get that protection.
No, he's brilliant in the air. He is the best player we've got in the air. No two ways.
No question about it.
hands down, and that's what he did in Italy. And he the time I watched him play before he came to Spurs was literally 2 weeks before we went for him, because it was when they played Inter Milan, and he was brilliant in defence, and he was also good up in attack as well when they were putting him in there for the corners to get where he scored the goal.
I think
He's our top player in the air.
City had 9 corners. I think they actually won 1 out of the 9 today.
Whereas with what other of our defenders do you actually feel safe on a corner in the air?
I think
one of them.
Dragason's a very, very good defender. I think Dragason's a really good defender, and I think
If you
he's
play him as a
proven
centre
it.
back.
You know, when he's played as a centre back, and that's why I said he's our best defender. You
And
know what I mean?
also-
'Cause he knows how to defend.
And also, Christian Romero is nowhere near as good as a lot of fans think he is. I think he's massively overrated.
For sure. He is.
Sav has said that for like 2 years. You know that.
I've said that since we signed him, and
Said that
again,
2
but
years.
again, he's another one, isn't he? Like today, and this is where I slightly disagree with a point Dan made. Like we said, if Romero played today, because of the type of game and the formation we played, you would have seen a better Romero. The difference is Dragusin and Davis don't go running into midfield to make ridiculous tackles. Romero still would. He can't help it. Romero would not have kept that solid back two. He goes. That's the difference for me. And listen, again, I'm not. Look, first and foremost, we shouldn't be in a position where Ben Davies is still at the club. But again, we beat Villa. Ben Davies ended that game, right? We beat Man City. Ben Davies ended that game in the onslaught. Today, Ben Davies played, kept a clean sheet at Man City. For me, what Ben Davies does and what Dragusin do, they defend. Like, you know when we used to talk about centre halves when we were all growing up and whatever. No one ever talked about how they bring the ball out. You know, no one ever talked about how good they were on the ball. We talked about can they defend. And for me, what Davis and Dragusin do, I think they know their limitations. They defend. Their first thought is don't let the ball in the net. For me, Van de Ven, people aren't going to like what I'm about to say here. Van de Ven, I don't know how good a defender he is yet, because all the while he's been at Spurs, all of his defensive duties has been on the recovery with his pace.
Yeah.
I want to see Van de Ven in a back four where we're not relying on his pace and we're seeing how good is he positionally, man marking.
Sava, I was saying
in the
this a
air.
couple of weeks ago. I said this a couple of weeks ago.
Those are fair points. And one thing Van der Ven has shown, he is extremely, not just slightly, he is extremely weak in the air.
Yeah.
Considering his height as well.
Yeah,
He's been brilliant for us.
Ridiculous considering how tall he is.
Exactly. He's been brilliant for us for what we need. And that is why he's probably one of the players we miss most when we play Ange ball as such up at the halfway line. And it shows when we ain't got him. But does anyone actually know?
It's fascinating.
As an out-and-out hardcore defender, hardcore defender. Is he that great?
It's fascinating now. People are bringing this up now because I said this a couple of weeks ago on the show, and I was bringing this up, and people thought I was talking absolute nonsense. And I said, no, I'm not talking nonsense. When Van der Ven, can he not use his pace? Can he be more positional and have it up there? Because the top defenders like John Terry, like your Ledley Kings, like your, I don't want to say his name, but it's Sol Campbell, like your best defenders, the Italian defenders back in the day, didn't need pace. They had it up there. They were always positionally very, very good. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I see with Dragusin. And that's the point.
He's an old school defender, isn't he? He's an old school centre back that you would have quite happily had.
Thank you for making that point, because just whenever what I said.
Alex, I'm not saying he can't do it.
Formula.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he can't, by the way, guys. I'm not sitting here going, oh my
No,
God.
I know.
No, it's a question because you haven't had to see him do it yet.
No, you're not making
in a game like today, I want to see, imagine that had been Van der Ven and Dragusin. I want to see how does Van der Ven do when we're on the edge of our own box and we're dealing with cross after cross and header after header and mark it. That's where I want to see how good a defender versus how good a footballer somebody is. And that's the difference for me.
So
we agree with you.
If I can, quick point, right? A couple of weeks ago, I said I would really like to see Dragusin and Van de Ven play together, right? And we actually had one opportunity to see that, right? It was against Karabakh. The shame was that Dragusin got set off after 7 minutes, right? This was the only time both of them started the game. And I would really like to see Dragusin and Van de Ven, just to see how they pair together, right? Because
Agreed.
we can clearly see that Dragusin and Davies, right? Whether we rate Davies or not, right? Most of us don't really rate him, right? As anything other than a steady Eddie 5 out of 10, right? But you can see that something between them just works, right? Between Dragusin and Davies. I would really like to see Dragusin and Van de Ven. Because
Michael, what were we basing that on? One game?
No, couple of games.
No, a couple of games. Dragusin and Davies played a couple of games already.
They were terrible against Galatasaray, abysmal.
Yeah, they were good against Manchester
They
City.
played the high
in
line
Carabao Cup.
against Galatasaray.
Yeah.
They played the high line, inverted wing fullback.
Okay, Galatasaray, no, because of the high line. Today, yes, because they were deeper. What was the other game?
City in the Carabao Cup, they were good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay,
And they
without
played,
Haaland on the pitch. Yeah.
and correct me if
Yeah,
I'm
but
wrong,
Haaland was on the
but-
pitch for 90 minutes today.
Yeah, and they.
Yeah, but we were
didn't
deeper,
score.
weren't we?
Yeah, we were, but the point is, no
I-
one's saying they're great. But
Yeah.
when they have to sit deep, those two they defend. They defend the goal at
All
all
right,
costs.
can I ask then? Can I ask? Have we seen Van de Ven and Romero deep?
Not really.
No, we haven't, have we?
But that's the point that Saba was making. He said that he needs to see them being that defend and having to defend. You see what I'm saying?
So
I
is
think
it
that's
possible?
come back-
Okay, so is it possible we're better defensively with Romero and Van de Ven if we play deep than we are with Dragusin?
Yes,
and
it is
Davies?
possible, but
It's
nobody
possible,
said
but I
it's
don't
not.
think that's
right?
Van de
I'm just
Ven's
asking.
game.
I'm not questioning you, Michael.
Yeah,
I'm just asking.
yeah.
I'm just.
No,
I don't think that's
think-
Van de Ven's game. And my worry doing that is that Romero, we've seen this for years. Romero, even when we played deep under managers like Conte and whatever, we saw that Romero has this tendency every now and then, a lot.
Every
to
game,
go,
pretty much.
hang on. There's a midfielder who's got the ball. I won't let the midfielders deal with it. Bang. Gives away a free kick or runs out of position. For me, all I'm saying is these two today no one from today's 11 should be dropped for next week.
Exactly.
In my opinion.
I agree.
Agreed.
Because
Sava, do you
otherwise-
think he'll change it? Do you think he'll drop it?
Yes,
Yes,
I
of course he
think
will,
Romero
yes.
comes back in.
Yes.
Romero comes back in, definitely.
Yeah.
Right, I've got to shoot anyway. Cheers for having us on.
Cheers,
I'll see you
Dan.
Cheers,
later.
Dan.
Take care.
Dan,
I'll see you
have a good
later.
one. Thanks
Okay,
for coming on.
Later.
Sad, the only change I can see him making is if Romero's fit, and then he'll bring him in for
Davies.
Davis, and he'll move Dragusin across.
See, but
And
again,
don't forget,
then
we got the Roma game in between as well.
Yes.
Look, I agree. I'm just saying, if we want to be a big club, if we want to be a
Archie
club,
Blair plays centre back.
you have to reward. You have to reward positivity, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, you've got to
If I
create
had
an
that
environment
today-
where you earn that position. You keep that position if you earn it.
Right.
Exactly.
Don't get me wrong. If the player coming back in is a superstar, i.e., if Man City won 15 games in a row, but now Rodri's fit again, Rodri walks straight in that team because he's the best in the
De
world.
Bruyne, yeah.
Van de Ven and Romero haven't been that great this year for me to turn around and go, you know what, I'm back fit. Let me in. For me, a lot of goals this year have been down to Romero. So for me, I think you turn around and go, well, hang on, these have just kept out Phil Foden, De Bruyne, Haaland, they just kept Man City 4-0, clean sheet, defended brilliantly, headed everything away, play. But if he changes it and then all of a sudden there's gaps in behind,
That's
you
on
have
the
to
manager.
ask the question of, have we learned, or are we literally just, or was today through not design, but by default? Was today by default or by design? Now, I want to think that it's by design, guys. I want to hope that it is. We'll see over the next 4 or 5 games whether it was, because we're not playing City again, so we'll see.
Yeah, but at the very least, Sava. Sorry, Mike. So if you want to go.
Just quickly, because Scott said it, right? Do you earn it based on lack or lack, not quality, right? This is the point, right? Based on today, I don't know if it's lack or quality, but they did keep a clean sheet at the Etihad, right? So I would like to reward them for that, see them play next game, and if they shit the bed, then we bring Romero back in, right? Because we know Romero.
Well, he has to
and
fight
Van
for his
der Ven-
place, Michael. Like I said before.
but
That's what I
that's
said.
it, right? That they shown us today, whether by lack or quality, that they did their job and they did their job properly, right? That's why they end the place, right? And now both Van de Ven and Romero, in my opinion, should end that trust of the manager and earn that place back, right? So if Davies and Dragusin drop a stinker against Fulham, right? Hopefully not, pray not, right? But if they do, then Romero comes back in. That's the way I see it, right?
And what it does, Michael, to carry on your point, because you've said pretty much what I was going to say there, but what it does is no, you were coming in first. But what it does, it creates that environment amongst the squad that because if Romero and Van der Ven come straight back in, then they don't need to try 100% every single week to get in that squad. What that does is it then creates the environment. Every single player knows they have to be at their top game to get in that team. And that's what all winning teams do. They create that environment. And I don't think we do that currently. So it's a great example because I don't think Dragusin and Ben Davies is our best centre-back partnership. But based on today's performance, they deserve the next game.
And
I
Villa
think it's
and City before.
Well, yeah, but I'm not looking at what's best to win the game next game. What I'm talking about is what's best to create the environment for the rest of the season. And I think I take that little bit of risk.
It's amazing how the truth sets you free because I've been saying this the whole day since the Manchester City games we won, and I've been saying it, and now everyone's saying the same thing I'm saying. So I must be the truth setter, you know what I mean? Because like I said we need a competitive squad. This is a competitive squad, so I'm sorry, Romero, you need to fight for your place, bruv. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, I'm not having this because you're setting a bad precedent because you need it. Like I say. If a player's playing really well and they're playing very well, you know what I mean? Whether you rate them or not, at least they're playing well. So they keep the shirt, and that's what top teams do. Thank you, David, for justifying what I said again. The truth setter again, talking the truth again. You know what I mean? Like always. Back to you, Steve.
No backups.
Yeah, no backups.
No backups.
No backups. Exactly. Exactly.
Can I make a point, Stel?
Yeah.
Stel, can I make a point?
Yeah, go for it.
I thought again today, I thought Basuma and Sarr really, I hate this word, apologies for using it. I thought the double pivot, I thought they played together really well. I thought they had a really good mixture of good legs in there, battling, tackling, getting forward, breaking up play. Listen, are either of them finesse type players? No, I don't think they are. But do you know what? I think those two were excellent today, and especially after the first 15 seconds when Basuma gets himself booked. Again, I think that two there, for me, provides more energy, more enthusiasm than when Bentancur plays. I do. Bentancur provides something different, right? Bentancur's very good on the ball, but I think as a two, those two today, for me, protects a back four better. I know that sounds mad because Bentancur does more of the 6 role, but as a two, I think those two complement each other rather than one of them playing with Bentancur. I thought they were excellent today.
I agree, but it highlights that we haven't got anyone good enough to do it on their own. We need 2 of them in there.
David, I agree.
But Man City away, you'd expect that anyway. But
I agree. And what I want to see the next game, this will be very interesting from Ange. Brennan Johnson obviously comes out today, and Kulu goes back on the right, and I thought Kulu had a good game there. The next game, Fulham, what is it? Forget Roma. The next game, Fulham at home. Does he go back to an experimental, hang on, I need to get Johnson back in, which means Kulu comes into the midfield with Maddison? Or does he say, no, Basuma and Sarr, you're going to play, give us solidity, and Kulu's going to continue on the right? What do we think he's going to do?
Sava, I want to ask you something on that, plus what's coming up, because our next 4 games are Fulham, Bournemouth, Chelsea, and Southampton, right? So we're playing the team that's 10th, the team that's 13th, the team that's 3rd, and the team that's 20th. Are these the types of games?
You know which one we are losing. You know which one.
Right? No. The majority of these games are against lower level teams that are more stubborn, teams that aren't going to come at us. Is this the right time to do that? Against Chelsea, I'd agree with you because we know how Chelsea play. Maybe we should play how we did against City today. But against these bottom teams, 20th, 13th, and 10th, is that the right approach, do you think?
I do. I do, because otherwise what we do is we leave ourselves wide open like we did against Ipswich. This is the point. We leave ourselves so wide open, and against these, lesser teams, that we're not going to have the fullbacks as deep as they were today. We know they're going to be higher up the pitch and more inverted, right? If you do that, now look at today. Now you got the two fullbacks, move them from there, squash them in a bit, right? Now you got two holders. No, take one of them out, push them up forward. Now all of a sudden the gaps in behind are exactly what these these lesser teams want to expose on the counter-attack. This, for me, is why I don't think we should ever do this two attacking midfielder thing until we get... If you've got a Rodri, play it.
Then you can do it.
I don't think we've got anyone good enough to play that role solo on their own to say, go on, we'll just leave that one guy there. Only my humble opinion. I just think we look better this season when we've had two in there as opposed to one. Just me. It's only me.
By the way, I don't think he has much of a choice. I don't think he has much of a choice, right? Bentancur is banned in domestic competitions, so unless he plays Gray, right? But it probably means that Bissouma and Sarr will be the starting double pivot, or however you want to call it, right? The pair in the middle, because Bentancur can't play, right? And I don't think he will put Kulusevski as that deep, right? I think he wants Kulusevski much further up top, right? So in the Europa League game, I think we will see Bentancur and Sarr probably, or Bentancur and Bissouma pairing, right? But in the league, it's 99.9% it's going to be Bissouma and Sarr. That's how I look at it. Because, as I say, unless he puts Gray there, right? But I don't think he will.
So do you think he's going to leave out Johnson? Do you think he's going to leave out Johnson again and Kulu will continue playing on the right?
I don't know. Maybe Sunday's sad, but on Thursday he'll keep the same back four apart from Udogie, who if he doesn't need a rest, if he's not injured, needs to be taken out the firing line. Because you even saw today we're short on the bench. He left Reguilon at home and he brought Malachi Hardy, a 16-year-old kid. So Reguilon totally out the picture.
Yeah, but he's had a falling out with him, hasn't he? So
I'm not so good about that.
Is he even registered?
Premier League.
Right, but Premier League, he will play Spence there if Udogie's injured next week. He brought Spence on today, didn't he? At left back when Udogie went off injured last few minutes.
Yeah.
He got a whack. Apart from that, I don't. Would he bring Johnson on against Fulham? I don't know. I think he would probably stick with the team. I think he'll stick with the team that he started today, next Sunday. I don't think Romero deserves to come straight back in front of Dragusin at all. I agree. Players have got to earn their place. And if a player plays well and he's done great, why would he deserve to be dropped? Why should he be dropped? It's wrong. It's completely in anyone's language. It's wrong. So the team should start as it is, as we started today. Should be the team that starts next week. The only change I can see is if Udogie is injured, then Spence will come in. For Thursday, I think there'll be quite a few changes. I think he'll take Udogie out completely. He hasn't got Spence. He'll play Gray at left back. He'll play Porro, Dragusin, and Davis unless Romero is fit, and that's touch and go. He'll play Bentancur because obviously he wants to keep him involved, and he can only play twice in the next 9 weeks. So he'll bring Bentancur in, possibly with Bissouma, I think.
Would you play Bentancur against Roma?
Yes, I would. Yeah, I would definitely. Yeah. You know what's sad? It's the only football he's going to get. December is a heavy month. It's a heavy month. December. There's 9 games.
I know, but again, aren't we? When does Gray and Bergvall get game time? Then, I'm just.
Are you asking that question politically or tactically, Sava?
But both. I mean both. Because if you want to build some momentum, I don't know, guys. I don't know listen, I know he's going to play. I don't even know why.
Trevor, can't you play Benton Court and Bergvall?
No, but that's why.
They both start.
That's why I was just asking. Was you asking that question because from the political aspect of playing him, or tactically, just generally as another player?
Just generally, I'm just thinking like if a player's out for that long, like my big bugbear with again, if we look at the Archie Gray thing, is that in a lot of these games, this is where Archie Gray should be playing central midfield. So that when a situation like Benton Court, forget that he's banned, this could be a 2-month injury, David, right? Forget that he's banned. It could be a 2-month injury. If he had been getting game time in his natural position during these Europa League games, you wouldn't have any problems chucking him in centre mid in a Premier League game. But we've not seen him there. And now all of a sudden, you know, Benton Court's banned and we're going to say, okay, right, the Europa League games where you probably would have had Bergvall and Gray, now one of them's not going to play because Benton Court's got to play because he's... I don't know. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just I don't know.
Gray will play left back because Doggy needs a rest and we don't have left backs registered in the Europa League squad, right? I think this is the issue, right? Because if we had a substitute for Doggy, like a natural left back, then I think Gray would get a chance. Or maybe he would rotate for Poro right back, right? I mean, there would be higher of a chance of him playing in the midfield, right? I think because of how tight the schedule is, even though Bentancur has a ban, I think we have to use him when we can, right? Because we can't play like Bissouma and Sarr against Roma and then play them against Fulham and then in 3 days play them against Bournemouth, you know. So we have to rotate. And if the difference between Bentancur being injured and banned is the fact that we can actually use him in the Europa League game, right? So I think that's why I said I think Bentancur will play against Roma, because we just kind of have to use him with how thin the squad is, right?
And
I agree with you.
We win Thursday. We've got to win Thursday. We can't be messing around.
I think Andrew's going to play a completely different squad for the rest of the Europa Cup games compared to the league, because we've got so many league games coming up now. I think there's going to be a lot of rotation now.
I think you're going to see.
So, we've got to win still. We do have to win it.
I think this is where
there's so many injuries. I know, but I think there's so many injuries that he can't afford any more, so he's going to have to rotate. He's got to give.
This is where the challenge is. This is exactly where the challenge is.
Gray will play, Berg will play, Lancashire. Well, he can't play next game because he's suspended. But I think, and maybe another youngster. Well, there's no more youngsters. Is more injured?
What's this? He has
Moore's got a virus at the moment. He's still not fit.
Yeah. So this is the point. This is the point I made, though. This is the point I made after this.
Spence can't play in Europe. We didn't put him in.
Yeah. No, but this is exactly what I'm saying. This is exactly what I'm saying.
Benton will play then. He will
because Dan made the point, which is followed to what I said, and why I can't. I need to see what happens after this, right? That fixture list with the Europe and involved, and also with the cup coming up soon in the 19th, I think, of December as well. This is going to be interesting how he manages to squad at the end of the day. You see what I'm saying? So
he'll start Werner and Johnson, won't he? He'll start them.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think this is where I think we've got to be very clever. I think this is where what Sav is saying, what Dan's saying, and what I'm saying at the moment, I would stick to this tactic of playing counter-attacking football at the moment. I will stick to that tactic right now because I think that's better for the squad moving forward. Because if we're going to play this Ange ball, I can't stand that word, but Ange ball. You know what I mean?
What is Ange ball? What is Ange ball? Is it even a thing?
It's like a phenomenon trying to figure out why I'm not married. But anyway, moving on. But the point is,
it's like Alex, it's overrated, mate. It's overrated.
I know. I'm just trying.
Alex, did you see?
I'm trying to be light-hearted.
Alex, I know. Talking of that, did you see the post that came up earlier tonight? What's going to happen first? Alex gets married or Spurs win a trophy?
Oh no, that's a great question. But going back to the point, because I've got to do what Stanley says, I've got to keep to my point. The point is,
come out with me, Mr. Box Office. We'll get you married. Don't you worry.
Oh, I'm really up for that kind of words, haven't I? But the point is, I need to finish the point here. The point is that I just think we just need to see, because I think if we do the Ange ball thing, right, I think we're going to really get tired, and this is where injuries are going to come, and I think this is where the problem has landed, and that's it. So I think it's going to get worse if we play this expansive football that we're trying to do, and if we just do what we did today, we have less injuries, we're not using that much energy up, and we're playing to our strengths, and that's what I'm trying to say right now. And to be honest with you, I'd rather see that rather than us trying to be something that we're not. And we're not this expansive team. We're just not that team.
Spot
You
on,
know what I
mate.
mean?
Spot on.
And that's simple as that. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Back to you still.
Spot on.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't know, get to know, right?
I think he's going to juggle it. He has to, because
Oh Jesus! But by the way, guys,
there's no way we're going to play 3 games in 3 weeks in 1 week with the exact same team without injuries, fatigue, and all that. Because don't forget, Fulham don't play in Europe. This is the thing. If you look at all these teams we're playing, Fulham, Bournemouth, not Chelsea, who's the other one? None of them have got European football.
Wolves we have coming up.
So
by the way,
we go
watch Wolves today. Chelsea playing in the Europa, but they have
Chelsea have 2 teams. They have a Europa team, and then they go back to their full 11 for the Premier League, mate.
See, the thing with Chelsea is they're in such a weak competition. They didn't even put Cole Palmer in it. That's how confident they are that they can do it.
By the way, Chelsea are bloody good. They are good.
You see, I remember when we went up to Maresca sorted them out. When we played Brighton, I remember going into that game saying, "Guys, they don't play Europe." I said it to quite a few people in the past couple of months. I think Brighton are dark horses for top 4. Will they get it? Probably not. But they're dark horses because they've got a bloody good squad. They've got a good manager. They're below the radar. There's no pressure on that club, and there's no Europe. So I look at Spurs and I think, right, now we're back in Europe. International break's over. Premier League starts. We've got a Carabao Cup game coming up. I just think these teams like the Fulhams, the Southamptons, and we think, we should beat them. We should beat them. They come into these games fresh, whereas we're going to be juggling fatigue, juggling injuries, and this is when we get caught cold. So I don't know, man.
Still, do you know Brighton, right? So today, Brighton,
I think they're a brilliant football club, by the way. I love Brighton.
So they win 2-1 away at Bournemouth. By the way, a team that have beaten Arsenal and City.
That's a great result. That's a great result.
And drew with Villa, right? And they drew.
You had a good day still, didn't you? All 3.
They're bringing players off the bench today, like O'Reilly, Vifa, Adingra, and Ferguson. And by the way, they've got 7 first-team players out injured. That's a good squad for a team that are only playing once a week. Yeah. That's a strong squad. And their front 2 today, Welbeck and João Pedro, they cause problems with Matoma and Rutter in there as well. I think they're a really well-coached team.
Matt O'Reilly, they got him back.
Quality player, Matt O'Reilly. Quality.
Their next game is Southampton at home Friday night.
Bloody hell.
Well, they'll win that, won't they? So Brighton's next 5. Listen to this for Brighton's next 5 league games. You tell me if they're going to win them or not. Southampton at home. Fulham away. Leicester away. Palace at home. Probably. West Ham away. And then followed that up with Brentford at home. There's a lot of points to be had there in that 18.
Right now.
Crystal Palace, isn't that a derby? Crystal Palace and Brighton, right? I think that's like an M16 derby or something.
Palace and Brighton normally draw.
Are they in the Carabao Cup?
At home. I think
are they in the Carabao Cup?
If you look at Brighton right now, okay, they are joint 4th on points with Chelsea, Arsenal, right? And no, they're not. They're joint 4th on points, and other than Liverpool, they've got the 2nd best loss rate. They've only lost 2 games. I'm telling you, as this season goes on, I said it, they are my dark horses, man, and everyone's sleeping on them. I think they're going to be knocking right on that door, and I think they finish. I actually think Brighton. In fact, I'm going to say it now. I think Brighton finish above Spurs this season. I think we've got too many games, too many competitions. I don't think we've got the squad for it.
Still, I've always said this is going to be like under Pochettino. And what I mean by that, please hear me out. What I mean by that is we were always very good, picked up a lot of results. As it got to about February, noticeably you saw people's legs were going. The performances were a bit more tired. There wasn't the energy. Now we've got that with Europe. in the Europa League. This is what I always say to people. It's a long season. We can talk all day long about, we're 3rd, we're 10th, we're 7th, we're 8th. The spell is going to come, right, when we've got 9 games in December. We've possibly got 9 in January as well, depending on cup games. 18 games in 59, 60 days is a lot. That's why when people are constantly going, we're 2nd, we're 5th if we win today. For me, it doesn't really matter now. As long as you're in and around it, it's fine.
Agreed.
But Brighton, you said they've got no League Cup, to answer your question, Alex. They've got no League Cup games in there at all. So right the way through for the next 7 or 8 games, I would fully expect them to win 5 or 6 of those.
Yeah, that's the point. That's a good point, because that's
And
exactly
Chelsea
what I
are good.
asked that question.
Chelsea, I watched Chelsea today. I was massively impressed. Everything about them, the way they're defensively set up, they play with a 2 in front of the back 4 that we should do every game. Caicedo and Enzo and Palmer, Felix, Madueke.
They've got more options than any other club as well.
Yeah,
and they play the
So
second
it'll be an
team in the
interesting
Carabao
season.
Cup in the Conference League, don't they? They play mostly the second team in the Conference.
They
League,
got like
don't
4
They play all of
slots.
it. Yeah.
Do you know what? Spurs Chelsea in a few weeks' time is going to be one hell of an interesting game.
Chelsea got Villa at home next weekend. Then they're at Southampton, and then they're at us.
I think they beat Villa. Villa's in bad form.
Yeah,
Villa
Villa's
are in good form.
They've just gone to pieces, haven't they, Villa?
Well, maybe not to pieces, right? But there is something not right there, right?
Michael, 1 draw and 4 defeats, isn't it, in the last 5?
Okay.
I think it was more the case
I didn't know it was that bad.
They were more punching above their weight previously.
We're level on points with them, but they've gone to pieces, and fans are telling me we're going to win trophies.
I think,
Isn't it funny?
but it's in one spell, right? It's when,
I'm talking the last few
right?
games. Their form's just dived.
I hear you, but if you look at our form, it's hit and miss, isn't it? So
We've won one in
3.
three.
We go like this, and they went like this, right?
Yeah.
Just right now, last
this
5.
is their most difficult spell that they've had under Unai Emery. But this is what throughout the season, and when people keep telling me this league is tight, it is at the moment. We all know the cream will rise to the top. It always
Eventually.
rises to the top. It might take 16 games, 20 games, 22 games. You know the cream will rise to the top. If you look at who's the top 3 right now, City, Liverpool, look at the top 4. I don't think that top 4 will be interrupted all season. I think that will be the top 4. Not in that order. I think that
do you know what? I'm tempted to put money on Brighton, you know. I
Go
don't know
for it.
why. I don't know why.
What are their
Arsenal got
They are
Champions
fifth.
League.
Champions League.
Oh, the odds.
Chelsea.
By the way, Stel, just to follow up on your point, right? Because you said that Brighton lost only twice, right? They lost to Liverpool and Chelsea. Those were the games they lost, right? Every single other game they are getting results, right? It's like
Michael. Do you know what's interesting? And both of those games were away. I'd like to see what happens when Liverpool and Chelsea go to Brighton. I'd like to see.
By the way, because they aren't a finished product, right? Because they drew with like Ipswich at home. I think they drew with Nottingham Forest at home.
Oh yeah,
so
they're not top side.
Yeah, but you don't have to be like a finished product to finish top 4, right? I think this is the point.
We're talking about Brighton. Brighton and Hove Albion. I used to support them at uni. I still do. They were in Division 4. I used to go to the parades on the seafront when they won Division 4, then Division 3, and getting into Division 1 was the biggest thing that happened to that town. I mean,
they're 6-1 still.
I'm telling you. Man.
So the top 4 favourites to finish in the top 4 are, funnily enough, Liverpool, Arsenal, City, and Chelsea.
Yeah.
We're in 5th place at 11-4. Newcastle at 9-2. Brighton at 6-1, and then Man United at 15-2. Because no one's talking about Man United. This manager could completely disrupt the Premier League. I'm not saying he definitely will, but
I'm worried about Man United in the Europa Cup. You know, I said if Man United get a new manager, I'm worried about the Europa Cup
and Carabao Cup
and Carabao. Yeah, more Europa.
If Man United win tomorrow,
they've got the pedigree.
They're 1 point behind us if they win tomorrow. Still,
it's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. Okay,
The
I want to
1
ask you guys a question before we wrap it up. Okay, if Liverpool win, are they playing Monday or is it Sunday?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, right? If they win, they go 8 points clear.
Yeah.
Their next game after that is Man City. Now, if they beat Man City, they go 11 points clear. I want to ask you of Man City. I want to ask you this question. After 14 games, if Liverpool have an 11-point advantage, are City clawing that back? Or are we looking at Liverpool as this lot should be winning the league from there? Or is it way too soon to call? Because it is early, but 11 points is massive.
It's huge.
I think it's way too soon to call, because I think Liverpool haven't had the the spotlight on them in terms of seeing where the problems lie. You know what I mean? You know, and so I think they haven't had really any test yet. You know what I mean? Because there's always a period where
Alex, they beat Chelsea, they've beaten, I believe, United, they've played.
No, but what I mean is
they
that
drew
I
at
think
the Emirates.
They drew at the Emirates. They beat Brighton.
I'm not saying that they haven't had tests, but I'm just saying that they haven't had the period where there's a bit question marks.
They've been really good in the Champions League.
No, they've been good. I'm not questioning on that front. I'm just saying at the moment, I'm just tempering my just me thinking that they've won it, because I think we'll see what happens second part of the season. I think that's the most important part of the season for me, to really see whether they are going to do it.
I'm gonna flip it. I don't think it's so much about Liverpool. I think it's more about City.
Yeah,
Rodri's out, I think,
right
for the whole season. He's been their most. You know, did you see that chart? Did you see the percentage of losses?
Yeah.
2.7% they've lost while when he plays. 35% loss when he doesn't.
Ian, he was given the Ballon d'Or before kickoff tonight.
Absolutely. De Bruyne is the other. De Bruyne is the other game changer. For me, they're the two. Haaland, obviously, the goal, but Haaland relies on service.
Yeah, he does.
And if there's no Rodri coming through, and De Bruyne is 33 now, he's been hit with injury after injury. He's not good again. He's a fabulous player, but it's probably not quite at the same level as the last year or two. I do think that this is a different sort of season for City. They may well end up with a trophy, but I can't see them winning the Premiership. And if they lose next week, I don't see. You've got to remember, Liverpool have got to lose 4 games, and City have got to win every single game.
That's what I was going to say, Ian.
And are Liverpool going to lose 4 games the whole season?
Well, this is what I was going to say. If this hypothetical game, after 13 games, it would be right that they play each other in the 13th game of the season.
Yeah,
that leaves 25 games. So if Liverpool win 17 of their 25, Man City have to win 21. It's a big ask. Man City have done it before. I slightly disagree with Ian on the De Bruyne front. I think when Kevin De Bruyne is fully fit, he's still one of the, if not the best player in the league, but he's not fit. It depends what they can do getting him fit. But Rodri is obviously a massive loss. But I think the only thing is you can't write off City because it's so early in the season that once City start putting those runs together, they can do 15, 20. Now, that is season's gone by. Yeah. Could they this year? At the moment, we're all going, God, no. But
I just want to add one thing, right? Because we are saying about the Liverpool fixture, and if Liverpool win, it will be 11 points, right? And normally I would say that City can claw it back, right? But after watching City, and not only today, but in the previous fixtures they lost, right? The next games they play are Forest at home, Crystal Palace away, which, by the way, don't laugh, but they are a boogie team for them. Like boogie team in terms of there are teams where City doesn't lose for 20 years against them, right? And there are teams like Crystal Palace that occasionally take points off them, right? Then they play a Manchester derby, right? And then they play Aston Villa, right? Away. So the point I'm trying to make is I'm not sure if Liverpool doesn't extend the gap in those few weeks, right? Because they got slapped 4-0 today, right? Let's be honest, at their own ground. They haven't lost there for 2 years. I'm not necessarily confident they are going to like start winning all of the sudden after Liverpool. Like Forest at home probably win. Crystal Palace away. With the way they are playing right now, guys, it's in bloody 2 weeks. Crystal Palace away, right? I'm not necessarily sure they will 100% confidently win that game, right? And then there is Manchester Derby, which they play at home. But Amorim, I'm sure, this is the game. If he wants to show something to this league, this is the game he does it in, right? So it's if it's 11 points, maybe, right? But if it's 18 points or 20 points,
18 is over. 18,
yeah, 18 is
go
over,
to Liverpool and win.
Yeah,
it changes absolutely
of
everything, doesn't it?
Of course, absolutely.
Of course.
Yeah,
listen,
we'll see.
Liverpool might not win tomorrow, right? And that's a different conversation.
The thing is, Michael, do you know what? If Liverpool win tomorrow, then they beat City. Arsenal go into second. I think Arsenal will be 8 or 9 points behind. Then Arsenal become the main rivals.
Yeah.
Because Arsenal today, let's see, because they're just as inconsistent. They draw a lot of games. Let's see if Arsenal going to run. Arsenal have got the squad to go on a run if they get it together. They do. They've shown.
They look really good.
Odegaard's back, isn't he?
Yeah, they looked really good today. I watched parts of that game.
Again, if Liverpool lose Van Dijk, for example, this is how quickly things turn. If Liverpool lose Van Dijk, talking about genuine world-class game changers here, like Rodri, like Van Dijk, it all changes. But we could see a season where Liverpool don't get any big injuries.
Yeah,
cruise through, and Arne Slot is suddenly a genius. And at some point, Man City's domination, like Man United's domination, came to an end. Chelsea's domination came to an end. Even Arsenal during that period, their domination came to an end. Yeah, this is what happens. Periods come to an end.
But you know what's going to happen, though? He signed this new contract, Pep, so he's there for another, till 2027, 28, whatever. If Man City get past all these charges and they get the all clear, this summer, City are going to drop a monstrous amount of money on some top players. We all know what's coming, right? They're going to rebuild it in one season and blitz it.
Yeah. Watch this winter. I wouldn't be surprised if they spend 150 or something stupid like that.
I reckon they go out and get a Zubimendi Mick out.
Yeah,
I reckon they'll lose heaven and earth.
Heaven
and earth. Not just Zubimendi, but I reckon they'll go for an Edison of Atalanta, a Zubimendi. I reckon they will move heaven and earth to bring in some top players in January.
They need a bit of a rebuild anyway. It flashed up on Sky, didn't it? They got the oldest squad in the league.
Yeah. They're going to do it in the summer if they pass.
I think they're doing it. I think they're in the background doing it right now.
That's why Pep signed a new contract.
That's
why
they've won 4 leagues on the bounce. They got the oldest squad, and we're going for the youth. What is going on? We're doing it the wrong way round. Let's go for experience, lads.
David, be patient. Right? Be patient.
It's not Project Youth, it's Project Elderly.
I find it funny when I'm genuinely seeing people saying Pep out and stuff, and you turn around and you think for everything they've done in 8 years, right? Pep's got to be the only manager I know that can be on the club's longest losing streak for however many years and get a new contract during that longest ever losing streak. And even today, did you see him interviewed? He looked so calm and relaxed after the game, and I'm thinking, are you all right? Do you know what I mean? He was just so calm, so relaxed.
He knows he's getting £400 million to spend in the summer, man. He knows it.
Mate, I think they go and drop big. I do. I think they go big.
They are going to go big.
Because I think he sees a thing. I think he sees a plan. You see what I'm saying? I think he doesn't want to panic because he's a coach that knows his quality, and that's it. You know what I mean? I think they have to worry about the run and try and stop the rot. Yes, they do.
Of course.
Like any team. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they will eventually.
I was on the earlier stream, and it's like they're all criticizing, saying, "Oh, this player's this player's that, this player's this player's this," and I'm sitting there thinking, this team's won 4 in a row. You know what I mean? So
and then over one summer, Alex, they're not good.
And
enough.
a treble.
And a
you know what I mean? So it's just like, you've had a lot of success with most of these players, by the way. You know what I mean?
Do you know what it's going to take? We all know this is going to happen. I don't know which game. I'm not saying Liverpool. I don't know about Palace. There will be a game where Man City pick off a team 4 or 5-0. right? Let's be fair. Today,
Yeah.
how many chances did they have in that first? In the first 15 minutes, I thought, shit, we're getting ripped apart, right? One of those games is going to be 3 or 4-0, and then City will go, boom, we're off. And then Haaland, everything he touches will start going in again. Everything De Bruyne starts touching will go in. Foden, you know it's going to happen. It's just when.
It's just going against them at the moment. It's just going against them at the moment, and that's the thing.
You know it's going to happen because they've proven it in the past.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why it's so knee-jerk reaction, and that's it, really. You know what I mean? It's just like, you can't. Like I say, I would never look at a Man City and say laugh at them because they've won what they've won. We've won nothing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, there was like people saying, "Oh, Davis owns Haaland," and it's like people saying to me, "Oh, why can you just live it up for once and just love it? Just have a joke about it." And I was like, "No, I'm not doing that because like Haaland's a very good player." You know what I mean? And he scores goals for fun. It's just that today it wasn't his day today. You know what I mean? He's won trophies. What has Davis won? Nothing. You know what I mean? So
actually, he has the Carabao Cup. With Swansea.
has he got Carabao Cup with Swansea?
I was about to say it won't with us.
Yeah, there's a won it with
guys,
us, though, isn't there?
I want to wrap it up very quickly before we go. I just want to quickly go around. Ian, what's your prediction for Thursday, Roma?
2-0.
2-0 Spurs, yeah? Clean sheet? Okay.
Yep.
Sava?
I want to see the 11 before I predict a score because otherwise I'm held against it, abused by it. I want to see who plays.
Based on the 11 you think Ange will go with?
2-1. I don't know what Roma are going to do with their new manager. 2-1.
Yeah. 2-1 Spurs. David, what are you thinking?
Yes. So, yeah, we're going to put out not a second string team, but we're going to change players. Roma have not been great. I think it'll be a crack game of football if you're a football purist, but there'll be goals. So just as a neutral, it'd probably be entertaining. I reckon 2-1 either way. I'm going to go 2-1 Spurs because I'm positive, not toxic like you lot.
Michael, let's see if you're positive as well. In Serie A, Roma have played 12, won 3, drawn 4, lost 5. They're currently 12th in the Serie A.
Right, that they are a shit show, right? But if you believe in new manager bounces, right, then might be fishy. But I think we'll win 2-1, but I wouldn't be surprised if we draw or lose. Just because I don't really fully trust that Europa League rotated squad. And by the way, one thing I have to mention, right? Because a lot of City fans, they really fight that claim that they are, a plastic fan base, whatever, right? And I'm not necessarily a fan that likes to take a dig at that, right? Because I know there are a lot of fans that actually support this club for a long time, right? But to see a quarter of a stadium empty at minute 65 after we went 3-0 up. I gotta say, I chuckled a bit, right? When I saw a lot of blue seats and not a lot of people. I just had to chat with that, right?
It's the famous blue moon.
It's the famous, the stadium was really blue.
Yeah. That's to be fair, when we went 3-0 down at the Emirates a few years ago, half our fans went home at half time. So I'm just
but it was away. It was away, right?
If anyone wants to see them,
no, you're right. It was away. Yeah, it was away. Yeah.
They're on tomorrow, by the way, against. If you've got invested interest in Tottenham, Antonio Conte's Napoli tomorrow host.
They're going to batter
our
Roma.
next opponent's Roma at 5:00 at Napoli. So if anyone watches that game, that's going to give you an indication of what Roma are about under this new manager.
I'm about to say, Conte's doing all right, isn't he, at Napoli?
not too shabby. Not too shabby.
It's unbelievable.
Do you know the manager that's killing it out there?
Inter Milan's manager's doing
Fabregas.
Atalanta's manager. What was his name?
Gasperini. Gasperini's class.
Atalanta top. They won again tonight.
Mate, he beat the German unbeaten champions in the Europa Cup final 3-0, man.
And Lookman, by the way, is on fire.
I said to Cheyenne 2 years ago, I said to him, Shy, he's going to be, I need a new team to follow, man. Spurs have done it for me. I said, I know. We have this chat every year. We have the same chat every year. Who should we follow this year? I said to him, Shy, go watch Atalanta and watch their front three. I'm telling you, he goes, Atalanta. I said, go have a look. And literally 2 years on, they've been brilliant. Alex.
And Fiorentina. They are also doing
I don't know much about Fiorentina. Who's the manager there?
Jesus, I think it was Vincenzo Italiano, but I think they changed the manager. I'm not sure. Yeah, they are fourth, and yes, Serie A this season, like when you look at top six, all of them are like within 2 points of each other or 3 points of each other.
Yes,
top six, Mike. Juventus are on 25 and they're sixth.
Yeah.
And that's Atalanta top on 28.
Yeah.
If Napoli win, though, they go top by 1 point.
Yeah,
That's a
by
very
a point.
tight league. Alex, Thursday, what do you think?
Sorry to David and Saba. I was thinking the same thing as you before at 2-1 Tottenham. Because I think we'll let in a goal. Yeah, it's not. I'm copying you. I thought before you said it, so you stole my thunder, both of you. But I think 2-1 Tottenham.
Sam, what do you reckon? Stel, what do you reckon?
Roma is shit, man. I think we beat. I'm with Sav. I want to see the starting line. I think the starting line will beat them. Just. I'm going to say 2-0. 2-0 Spurs. We'll win it 2-0.
So
two clean sheets on a bounce.
Yeah.
Fulham's the one I'm worried about because Fulham got spanked and we've just battered City. So it's like, yep, Spurs will have Fulham.
Yeah.
It's all nicely ready for us to do something Spursy. But
just a kick in the balls. Waiting.
Romeo is begging me to ask this question. So I said, all right, we'll do it. We'll do it before we leave.
Wherefore art thou, Romeo?
Where's Julia?
You're with the jokes today, aren't you, David?
Would you, mate? David's been on a bantering the whole show. Would you buy Grealish? Would you buy Grealish? Why? How much? Or as doesn't make no sense. 100 million player not worth 40 million who falls over. Romeo, I don't understand what you've written. Stelios asked the panel this question: would you buy Grealish? Why? How much? Or as a £100 million player not worth 40 million who falls over a lot? EA lot is a.
I'm taking.
Okay, should we just go with? Would you take Grealish at Spurs? Let's go.
Yeah.
He's writing questions like Shakespeare from Timu.
This is an easy
Wherefore
answer.
Art thou Grealish?
Yes, I would take Grealish all day long, other than Timo Werner or Johnson. Just to say that, move it on.
What if we kept Johnson and in fact, when you put it like that, it's hard to say no, really. Isn't it? How do you argue that?
I think we get to this stage, don't we, as a fan base, where I think sometimes we forget who we are. Yeah. And we do this a lot with players that have achieved a lot, that are very good players, and we start going, he wouldn't get in, RT. Jack Grealish is a fantastic footballer. Let's make no bones about it. Jack Grealish is a serial winning player who's trusted by Pep Guardiola, who's got fantastic ability with the football, and he's got something that many of ours can't do out wide. He's got the ability to hold on to the ball, travel up the pitch, bring others into the game, and he can beat you on the outside or the inside. It's an absolute no-brainer. The 100 million thing, listen, that's what Villa commanded for him. That's what City paid. That's not on Grealish. Jack Grealish walks into our 11 all day, every day. And when I see Spurs fans, but not this guy, but when I see so many guys, we wouldn't want him. It's like, oh, come on, can we get a grip? Can we get a grip? This guy walks in, stays in, and brings winning mentality. And I'd love to see him, Maddison, and Kulu linking up. Just my opinion.
Do we all agree we'd take Grealish? I would. I'd take him.
Definitely. 100%. Oh, should have bought him years ago when the deal was agreed at 18 million. 18 million. Think about that. 18 million.
And Potter's manager. So Potter would have made it even better.
That's too sensible. Big up Matt for the super chat. Ian, D&B, London Brawl, a user with a couple of super chats as well. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for being on the show tonight. Savvy, you got anything? Well, you got something every day, really, haven't you? Have you got a show tomorrow, Sunday night? You do a Sunday show, don't you?
Yeah, I've got the Spurs review tomorrow night. I've got a watch along on bigup.com tomorrow. If anyone wants to watch Ruben Amorim's first game at Ipswich, I'm doing that in the afternoon, and in the evening, the Spurs review. And then Debate Sava will be a little bit earlier on Monday night because I'm out Monday night. So if anyone wants to come on, I know what I'm going to get this week. But yeah, thanks for having me. I always enjoy the debates. Thank you.
Best show on YouTube on Monday night, by the way. That debate show. It's best. He's at his best when he's debating, honestly. And that take that compliment all day long, Sava. I have to say that.
Thank you, Alex. Alex always messages me going, yeah, you need people to ask you tougher questions. You love the debate. You love the fight, Sava. And I'm like, yeah, I do. Yeah, Alex, who are we getting on? Like he's my agent or something.
Alex, I would ask you.
I'm his agent.
Lubo.
Love you,
Lubo
Ian.
agent.
Love you, Ian. Well, we got to you, Ian.
I would ask you when you're on, Alex, but whenever I ask you, you end up telling everyone that you can't be bothered and you're taking a break, and you tell everyone not to watch your channel.
Listen. People can watch my channel because I've just put a video up already saying that I'm happy about the performance. So take that for what you will. But I'm not happy from what I've been told from other shows. So you know what I mean. But you know how it is, and that's it. Hopefully, I can get back on the stream soon. You know what I mean? Because to be honest with you, this is something to talk about. This is something different to say. You know what I mean? 4-0 win against Man City. Might as well embrace the glory, and that's it. You know what I mean? You know, I would love to do a debate show like Sava, but I don't know if I can really trust people right now. You know what I mean? But you know, at the moment, we'll see what happens next week, and you know how it is every single time.
So, Alex, when are you next on?
Oh, hopefully soon this week.
Hopefully, this is what I mean.
On a Tuesday night, maybe. Yeah, hopefully soon, and then you'll see some more box office moments from Mr. Box Office himself, and that's it.
Guys, just go to his channel down there. Hit the notification bell so you get an alert when he's next on. That's the best.
Exactly. Take care, everybody, and back to you. Still, and I'm done.
He's done. Dave, have you got anything going on with Hotspur Hood, Dan? You got any plans for any shows, or Dan just goes live whenever he wants in the mornings, doesn't he?
To be fair, Dan's been carrying the Hotspur Hood for a good couple of months now without me. Very busy at work, so Monday to Friday has been very hard, which is why I let my hair down at the weekends a little bit more. But yeah, no, we have been talking Tuesday nights what we're trying to do. But as I always say to the ladies, I'm on Tinder. If you don't know, get to know. Just isn't that right, Mr. Box Office?
Do you know what? Thank
you very much.
I've got you two talking about Tinder. There's people in the chat talking about pussies. I don't know if they're talking about cats or something different, but okay, anyway. I'm hoping it's cats. So on that note,
I've got an idea for a show for your channel.
Oh, please, why
don't you follow Mr. Box Office and David R around London one night, going into bars, chatting up women, and whack it on your channel? I reckon it'll be the most viewed thing ever.
Wait, talking to women, I stand at the other end of the bar thinking, oh, I wish I could go up and say hello.
Don't worry, Alex is smooth. He'll sort it out for you.
I wish that was Alex. I wish Alex was really smooth. To be honest with you, that's my job as Mr. Box Office. Alex is terrible. My gosh.
I'm like the Tottenham attack against
Box Office on the bloody channel.
I'm terrible with women. I don't talk to women. Yeah, I can't wait to follow you guys around. It should be fucking brilliant.
Love Island, was it? Love Island. You know what I mean? All day long.
Find a nice girl, get married, settle down, tell her you want to do YouTube a lot. Life's easy. Just do it.
There you go.
Eat your heart out. Love Island, eat your heart out. You know what I mean?
To be fair, my 15-year relationship ended about the same time I started YouTube, so I don't know if that's a great...
If you do get a wife, make sure no one knows who she is. Do not let anybody anywhere near her picture, or you get loads of accounts with your wife's picture as their thumbnail. Just a little friendly tip.
Just
from
tell
me to
people
you.
you're single, even if you're not on YouTube, and then you're all right. You're safe.
Yeah. I'm single. Yeah.
We are live on Monday again, everyone, 8:30 p.m. Whoever's on there's on there. Normally it's Iggy, Mari, Masley, and then these guys sometimes come on.
The usual.
Feel free to come and watch. You can guess what we're going to talk about on Monday for another 2 hours.
He's going to tell you off still. He's going to say you've got to be happy.
Oh, God help me! I got.
I love.
Actually, I don't know if Iggy's on. Iggy's not been well lately. He's not been well. So.
Iggy he's not been well. Sorry. Oh,
why is Lee been to A&E?
Lee.
Yeah, look at the chat.
Jesus, you lot still going? Just been to A&E and back. Why have you been to A&E?
I don't even know.
Is it anything to do with cats?
Is it anything to do with pussy?
Oh, just to pick someone up. That's not an exciting story. Oh, what?
No, that's all right. That's good news. That's good news.
Yeah, but we don't want good news. We wanted some drama, Ian. We wanted someone fell off a chair because they saw Johnson score the fourth, and we want some.
Maybe that's the new place to pick up ladies, Alex and David. Maybe
there you go. Follow Alex and David round to all the A&Es in London,
mate,
chatting up all the women.
Epic.
That'd be amazing.
People, thanks for watching. As always,
I don't want to get Stelios cancelled here.
We're ending it there. Come on, you Spurs, and all that stuff, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.
A&E
Bye-bye.
TV.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away.